Where's the nickname Boz come from?
Oh, that's a good question.
William Royce Boz Skaggs.
I think we're farting around. I really do.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Just hit that
An
right.
elegant way of wasting time. It's Farting Around with Radio from Hell on X96.
So apparently a schoolmate gave him the nickname of Bosley, which was shortened to Boz, but it doesn't say why they called him Bosley.
Yeah.
Is it a Charlie's Angels thing?
I think he was before Charlie's Angels.
Or could it be? There was an English diarist who, every time he wrote in his diary, he wrote it to Bosley. Well, I can't think of the guy who did it. But. So you say you in England a lot. Sometimes they'll say you're my Bosley or you're my confidant or my.
Maybe. You would think it would explain it here.
That's awful highfalutin thinking for a playground, don't you think?
I do. I do. I think it's probably not the case, actually.
If you Google Bosley, you get the Bosley Hair Club for men.
Oh, that would be sad if that's his nickname for Bosley.
No.
Yeah, as a kid.
1976 to 1981, generously called the hit years for Boz Skaggs. Because he really had just two, didn't he?
He had two. This was the other one, yeah.
And after he couldn't get anything to sell, I like this song. It's very nice.
Nothing you can't handle, nothing you ain't got.
Can I add Boz Skaggs to the tour?
You bet.
I don't know. He seems a little too distinct, a little too unique.
That's true. The theme of my tour is they all sound the same.
Yeah, and Boz has a distinct sound. You gotta.
Okay, yeah, we can't add Boz to it, I suppose. Boz Skaggs Defender, Bill Ulrich.
Boz, after the hit years, took a long break. It says.
Good for him.
Well, if you have hit years, you can take a long break. That's the benefit of having hit years.
Go spend your money.
Well, what were the other hit years?
What were the other choices today, Gina, that we could have done?
Bonnie Tyler, on this day in 1953, she was born.
Yeah, we could have done Bonnie Tyler, but
I'm afraid she has more hits than Boz Skaggs.
What has she got?
Well, she got this, Holding Out for a Hero, and It's a Heartache. So there's three.
Three, okay.
As opposed to two of Boz Skaggs.
Now, there was another birthday today, which I didn't say because Bill would have said, we should play that, but it's not a good opening number. Watch.
What?
Mick Hucknall from Simply Red.
Oh.
And Bill
Holding
goes,
Back the Years.
Yeah, which is a great song.
It is a great song.
I know you like that song, but it's not a good
Probably not a
opening number.
It's not. But Mick Hucknall, that Simply Red. Whatever happened to that guy?
It's also Nick Rhodes' birthday today.
There we go.
1962.
Yeah, not an opening number, really.
No. Oh, come on. I don't need the long version of it. Although this gives you plenty of time to read a PSA or the weather before you say X96.
Well done, Kerry Jackson.
What a great song.
Thinking of the fear I've had so long. When somebody
You just wonder why couldn't Simply Red, Mick Hucknall, why couldn't he find some other?
He didn't have the hit years. Where were the hit years?
Well, they had two hits. They had two.
Oh, if you don't know me by now, you will never.
This is a big one. Even though they didn't write it, it was a big hit for them.
Yep. Again, that's too slow.
Yeah.
But it's nice.
Yeah, very nice song.
This is an evening song.
Evening?
Yeah, like there are songs that sound better at different times of the day.
Yeah.
This is an evening song.
Sure, I agree with that. He's still outperforming.
Mick Hucknall?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
You know,
Is he simply reddish gray now?
probably. Probably.
Or mostly gray? He went from simply red to mostly gray?
He's still out doing clubs and.
No.
Because
So
what are
Nick-
you going to
it's-
do?
It's Nick Rhodes' birthday, too, and they just released a brand new album, the Duran Duran.
The Duran Duran?
Yeah. They're still...
It's getting wonderful critical notices, I'm sure. What? Let's hear. I'd like to hear what some. Money's Too Tight to Mention. Todd Newcomb just.
Oh, yes.
That's the
Money's Too Tight to
now.
Mention.
See there, we could have opened with that.
Todd, you're up early this morning, sir.
Isn't Money's Too Tight to Mention pretty upbeat, as I recall?
Let me find it. It is.
Yeah,
It's a toe tapper, Bill.
it is. Snap your fingers to this one, boys and girls.
There we go.
Yeah.
Very 80s. And that's because you're on the station that plays the 80s. It's Gina 96.3.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
We got a double shot of Duran Duran coming up. Flock of seagulls on the way.
I think I seem to remember there being a long disco version of this
Oh, I'm sure of it.
that I played when I was doing that sort of thing in bars. Yeah, people get out there on the dance floor with Money's Too Tight to Mention.
Money's too tight to mention.
Yeah. Wow.
All right.
But thank God, no Bonnie Tyler. I just couldn't stand it.
She's raspy, Bill. You don't like raspy?
I like raspy sometimes.
Listen, I'll say this about Bonnie Tyler. She's no Kim Carnes.
No,
All right.
no Kim Carnes.
Let's move
Nope.
along, and I'd say that's farting around enough.
Betty Davis eyes. Oh, jeez.
This has been Farting Around with Carrie, Bill, and Gina on X96, Radio from Hell.
Okay, then we'll officially begin the show with your check-ins, if you've a mind to do it, at 877-602-9696, wherein you call the radio station and just help us get going by checking in with us. Mm-hmm. Say, hi, good morning. What do you do? Here's what you're going to do with your day, or a comment on something. Maybe you would like to tell us to never, ever play Boz Skaggs again.
Well, here's Stuart, our friend Stuart in the chat room. Boz is playing Sandy later this summer. I'm not going.
I'm not
I'm not going.
And Stuart goes to everything.
Yes.
You can't make me. I'm not going.
Oh, and Blaine reminds us that Boz had JoJo was another hit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
That's right.
And then the breakdown Dead Ahead. So he's actually streets ahead of Mick Hucknall.
Yeah.
The hit years. He had the hit years.
So thanks for texting us. I do appreciate that. Why don't you call us, too, when we get back at 877-602-9696. Love to hear from you. It just gets us going, okay? Do it.
Okay, we got to hear from Zero Res. Keep it
Zero
clean.
Res. Keep your carpets nice and clean, your upholstery nice and clean, your tile. What have they done for you lately, Gina?
All of those things. You can get a hold of them a couple of different ways. ZeroResSaltLake.com or ZeroResDavisWeber.com, or you can just call them 801-288-9376. That's 801-2880. They've got that deal going on now, right, Bill?
$33 per room of carpet plus 50% off upholstery cleaning. So $33 per room, 50% off upholstery cleaning. And, with Zero Res, you walk into a sunny room, and you see in the sunlight, you see all those dust motes in the air. That's coming from your carpet.
Or your upholstery. And, we've been sitting on our couches a lot more this last year.
I know I have.
You should get them cleaned.
Get that stuff clean. Go to ZeroResSaltLake.com, ZeroResDavisWeber.com, or call 288-9376. That's 2880. All of the Beat Gina topics have been specifically chosen for their relevance and entertainment value, and all of the answers have been thoroughly vetted and researched, and anyone who says different is itching for a fight. And now, let's welcome the host of Beat Gina. He's the sharp-witted and fashion-forward man of the hour, the one and only, because they broke the mold when they made him, Kerry Jackson.
Thank you, Johnny.
You're welcome, Kerry Jackson.
Thanks for coming up out of the basement to keep score with us.
You're welcome.
Every Thursday.
My pleasure.
All right, let's. We do have a full phone bank, but Gina has decided that Hank is going to be the contestant. Thanks for the first is a simple coin toss. So I would like you to tell me heads or tails, and I'll use the coin toss app to determine it.
Let's go heads.
Heads. All right, let's see what happens. All right, coin toss app says heads. You go first.
Oh,
all right.
man.
That gives you an advantage in the game, Hank. Here's how it works. Your question goes first. You get a chance to answer it exclusively with no interference. If you get it right, you get the point. If you get it wrong, Gina gets a chance to answer it and steal your point away. We'll go back and forth until we have somebody with 3 points. That will be the winner of the game. All right, here we go. Hank, here's your question.
The excitement is so thick you can cut it with a spoon.
Hank, what was the final ingredient for the life-sucking potion? What was the final ingredient for the life-sucking potion? Was it A, a chocolate coating? The chocolate coating makes it go down easier. B, eyes of newt. C, a bit thine own tongue. Or the final ingredient for the life-sucking potion, D, open the schools. Masks or muzzles. Do your research, sheeple.
Let's go B.
B, eyes of newt. Incorrect, Gina.
C.
C, a bit thine own tongue. There you go.
Well, the score is 1-0 for Gina, and Gina controls the question. A chance to sort of really command the game with this one.
All right, let's pick a good one here for Gina. All right, here we go. What do the sisters use to fly after their brooms are stolen? What do the sisters use to fly after their brooms are stolen? Was it A, a single-engine Piper Cub powered by a tremendous sense of self-satisfaction? B, a broom, a mop, and a vacuum? C, a Swiffer sweeper, a Swiffer wet jet, and a Swiffer duster? Product placement is key. Or D, took a cab?
That'd be B.
Oh, a broom, a mop, and a vacuum. Very good.
All right, it's 2-0 for Gina. Hank now controls the question. Hank has a chance to get back into the game with this one.
All right, Hank, let's go here. What was the name of the high school that Max and Allison attends? What was the name of the high school? Was it A, Rydell High School, B, Halloween Town High, C, East High, or D, Jacob Bailey High School?
Oh, man. Let's go B.
B, Halloween Town High? That's correct.
It's not Rydell, of course. That's the Grease High School. Everybody knows that. Is it D?
D, Jacob Bailey High School is correct, and by golly.
Well, it was a sweep. I'm
Hey.
sorry, Hank. Sorry, Hank. You screwed the pooch, as they say.
Yeah. My bad.
Zero points.
You guys are the best.
Oh, Hank, you're going to go to Moochie's, right, and get some lunch? Get some
Yes.
meatballs
Yes.
or more?
Get the Philly cheesesteak egg rolls, I'm telling you.
If
Delicious.
I'll try
if you're
those.
going to do that, Hank, why don't we
But now I'll try them.
give you a tote bag so you have something to carry all your meatballs in? How about that?
Well, no, he's going to.
Thank you, Gina.
Gina, he's going to go before he'll ever be able to get the toad bag, I hope.
Well, there will be meatballs in the future that need to
Yes,
be
that's
toted.
It's
Thank you, guys.
It's often cloudy with a chance of meatballs. All right, I'm gone. Goodbye, Hank. Nice hearing your voice, Hank.
Thank you, Hank.
Hang on the line, Hank, and I'm going to go away now.
We'll get you on hold, and you can. We'll get your information for the tote bag. 6:21. Let's get this over with.
I know we have one person waiting to check in at 877-602-9696, but that's not nearly enough. We need at least 2 people. So
Do we have a
call,
quota?
just check in, 877-29696, and we'll take your calls right after this.
University of Utah Health Plans, they provide medical and pharmacy services that meet you right where you are. For those without insurance, there's a special open enrollment period now through August 15th. Enroll today at uofuhealthplans.org.
The moon is just about gone. It's on the wane, 3.3% of full. It will be a new moon on June 10th. Then we wait till June 24th to have a full moon. The moon
on June 10th.
Ladies and gentlemen, the song stylings of Gina Barberi. And the moon will set today at 7:30 p.m. Today being Tuesday. It's the 8th day of June in the year of our Lord Jesus Christ, 2021. Day 446 of our pandemic broadcast, wherein we are broadcasting live from our homes. You can see us at at x96.com/live. It's Radio from Hell Television. We're right there. You can find it, click on it, and see what we're doing. And boy, is it exciting. This is the morning show that usually has its pants on backwards. This is the Radio from Hell show, starring the Lords of Morning Radio, Kerry Jackson, Bill Allred, and Gina Barberi, 3 radio hosts that agree adult diapers are often a convenient accessory for a successful morning show. Often they are. Katie, for short, is our producer. She's in the studio in downtown Salt Lake. You can see her and her resplendent, simply red hair. Do you do anything to color that at all, Katie? You mind me asking?
Back in the day I did, but I haven't colored my hair in years, so this is all natural now.
So it's just natural red. Just, man, it's so red.
Thank you.
Red.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, some people, they say that they're redheads, and I think, what? They are really? Well, I guess. You know, that kind of strawberry blondish. Mm-hmm. Katie's just like the deep redhead.
The auburn. I like it.
Auburn, yeah, that's a good, yeah. And then we have, I think, Hawk, who, as I recall, I haven't seen Hawk in a long time, but he just has a short cropped head of black hair, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'd go as far as to call it jet black.
Yeah. Ooh. And Miriam.
If memory serves.
And Miriam, I don't know, Miriam's hair color changes.
She's had pink hair a lot. I don't know, what color is Miriam's hair these days?
It's bleached blonde.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Hawk has dark brown hair. It's
dark
not
brown.
jet black. I don't think.
I said if memory serves.
We're gonna have to put them on camera at some point here, but not right now. Let's go to check-ins at 877-602-9696 and see who's there. I know Nick is there. Nick.
What color is my hair, Bill?
Nick, I know. I think it's kind of brown, and it's never known a comb or a brush.
No, that's true. I that holds up this morning. I didn't get a lot of sleep. I had my dog sleep in my bed with me for the first time in a while, and with the heat kicking in and how long and warm she is, I was sweating through the whole evening.
Now, why for the first time in a while? Where does she usually sleep?
She's been sick, sadly, and she's had issues. I don't think more to wake me up.
Aww.
Did you call him?
Before you called us?
Are you going to call him after you talk to us? What is it?
Come on, stop it.
I had a bad night as well, Nick. I dreamt all night that I went to a car dealership to pick up my car, that they'd been working on it. And they said, well, it's right over there. And so I go to, and I can't find it anywhere. And I spent the entire night dreaming about trying to find it. It was horrible. It was horrible. I'd go back into the office and say, it wasn't there. Oh, okay, wait a minute. Let me see. Oh, okay, it's right there. I guarantee it's right in there. I go, nope, not there either. I never found the damn car.
That is truly a nightmare.
Me and your nightmares are very similar. I
Yeah?
had one just the other week where I got a call from my high school where they said I didn't graduate because I didn't finish a gym credit. And they said the only way I could finish my high school degree finally is if, as a 25-year-old, I go back to Davis High School and I dress up with the 18-year-olds every morning and I hit the track. And I have to figure out the trends, and I have to fit
So
in.
you did it.
And
So in your dream,
I've
you
seen
did
that
it.
movie. I've seen that movie.
is that a movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called Nick's
damn.
Dream.
All right, Nick. Thank you.
Hey, Nick, nice to talk to you as usual.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
Nick.
Good talking to you guys.
Let's go to Chris.
Hey, Chris,
Hello, Chris.
Hi.
Hi.
what's up
Good
with
morning.
you? Good morning. What's up with you?
Nothing. We were just calling to tell you what we do in the mornings when we have insomnia and wake up a little bit early.
Okay.
Okay.
If the sun comes up or right as the sun's coming up, in South Salt Lake, just a little bit west of the freeway on 2100 South, there is this little place you can drive through and find a bunch of rabbits.
Rabbits?
So we there's tons of rabbits over there. So we'll drive down the street and take pictures with rabbits. We call it rabbit hunting.
Just like wild bunnies in a
rabbits?
Yeah.
field.
Yeah.
That's
It's
so
really weird. It's just a random fund we found, and for the past few years now, whenever we wake up early, we'll go for a rabbit hunt.
Will you send us a picture? I want to see the
Yeah,
rabbits.
that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I can send you a picture of the rabbits.
Yeah, just email it to radiofromhell@x96.com.
All right, no problem.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
Good luck. It's
Have a
rabbit
good one.
season.
Back to Nick's
very quiet.
getting his dog to eat a pill thing. Is a text here at Nick. Braunschweiger in the deli section works like a charm to hide a pill, and dogs love it.
Yeah, but you know what that is? It's almost like a pate, a paste.
Yeah, it's paste.
Yeah,
Braunschweiger.
we'll give it a
My
try.
husband puts it on crackers.
Yeah, my family did that when I was a kid, and I hated it because it's kind of livery.
Livery. Yeah.
But now I think about it, and I've had it as an adult. I really kind of like it. It's sort of cheap pate.
Adam, we don't have time to get to you. I'm terribly sorry because traffic, please.
Yeah, we do have some issues. Fender benders southbound I-15 approaching 90th South exit in Sandy. Cars are on the right shoulder there. And a crash westbound I-80 near Wright Brothers Drive exit. Vehicles are on the left shoulder there. And are you seeing anything? You can text it to us, only if it's safe for you to do that, though, at 33986. It's time to buy a new Honda from your Utah Honda dealers with 0% APR financing. See UtahHondaDealers.com.
I'm craving Braunschweiger.
We will take a break. We got a full-strength big boy news and a pinuendo coming up after these. X96. So we're in the back porch and look over, and Bri says, I just saw a critter. Was not specific because he knows how she feels. Yeah. And that was that. So Sunday morning, we wake up. Morning's going fine. Mm-hmm. Everything's good, making coffee, the whole thing. Mm-hmm. And then I hear Sue screaming.
Oh, jeez. Uh-oh.
And I come into the kitchen, and she's looking out the back window. And I run to the window to see a dog in a war.
Really?
With a rat.
Was it still alive?
The rat was wounded.
Oh.
So I go running out there, and it's like, get inside, get inside, get inside.
You got a couple of letters.
So close the doggy door, leave she clear. Go back out a half hour later. It's actually looking a little better.
Wow.
It's rolled over on its belly. You know, it's still not walking because I think its legs are broken.
Oh, God.
Oh, jeez.
And
I feel bad for the poor rat.
I do too, and then I'm like, I'm going to have to dispatch the rat, aren't I? Mm-hmm. I'm going to have to, because it's in pain, it's suffering. It's
go get your gun.
So
or just wait for 4 turtles to show up.
Yeah. I cocked it and put it right to its head. Oh. I had to dispatch the rat. And even then, I couldn't pick it up right away. Like, I'm going to let it. I'll be back in a bit. and so I come back like 20 minutes later, and it was starting to stiffen up already. That was pretty fast.
Oh, yeah.
But end of the story is Sue is putting our house up for sale. And
Truly? Some people would.
what she doesn't know is that I've been keeping this secret from her ever since we moved there. I mean, it is the mountain.
Yeah.
It's happening. Now, our Artie, our original dog, was never curious about exploring the backyard.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't interested in getting into the shrubs or the trees or anything, so I was able to put, like, traps out there and I took care of the rat problem for quite a while. But now I have curious dogs, and I can't do that because Ripley will...
They'll get in the trap.
Ripley will find the trap, and so I don't need that. But, yeah, Hudson was high on adrenaline for the rest of the... rest of the day.
Killer.
Oh, he just did that stirred something in him.
You should have seen my cat with a beetle yesterday. Man, did that cat go to town. A killer. Little beetle.
What?
Nothing.
How do I know that name?
Well, it's Gino can tell you who it is.
E.L. James.
Oh, she's Googling it right now, so she doesn't know.
Why do I know that name?
50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, yeah. I hated that book.
She is writing more of the same.
More terrible books?
A new book called Freed, continuing the story from the man's perspective of 50 Shades of Grey. And
I was hoping.
No.
E.L. James tragedy.
No. Fans want more, so James gave them more. In 2015, she published Grey, which retold the steamy saga of billionaire Christian Grey and his submissive, the demure Anastasia Steele. James, who first wrote 50 Shades as Twilight fan fiction, I'd forgotten that, rehashed the same plot but narrated it this time from Christian's point of view instead of Anastasia's. James followed Grey with Darker. Are you aware of any of this?
No, I didn't even finish the first one.
A second. Well, okay, I'm not trying to pin you down or anything. I just you're off the hook. I just wondered if you were aware that these books existed. A second book from Christian's perspective then took a detour with a standalone romance novel called The Mister. Dissatisfied readers begged her to go back to the 50 Shades of Grey kind of line of stuff. So, she's done another one. I guess she's still making money selling these things. You get a fan base, and you're off and running. Speaking of having a fan base, R. Kelly.
Does he have one of those anymore?
You know, I'll bet he does. But two of his attorneys are not among them.
Oh.
Two of R. Kelly's attorneys have now requested to withdraw as his counsel. Mike Leonardo and Stephen Greenberg confirmed to Fox News on Monday that they have asked a New York judge to allow them to step aside in the case. In a letter obtained by the Chicago Sun-Times, written by Greenberg to Judge Ann Donnelly, the Chicago-based attorney said that should the court deem it fit, he and Leonardo would stand as effective standby counsel. Standby.
My guess is R. Kelly is a pain in the ass and doesn't pay his bills.
And I think that
I don't want to deal with him anymore.
I think that also when you're an attorney and you realize, man, my client is guilty as hell and I can't defend it.
I think that's got a lot to do with it, yeah.
You just can't do it. And that must happen.
Oh, well, look at the Trump administration. How many lawyers did he go through?
Yeah, and still. Did you hear speaking of Trump's lawyers, I have a story about it here somewhere, but there's a recording of Rudy Giuliani that's just come to light of him trying to pressure the president of Ukraine to dig up dirt on Joe Biden.
That doesn't exist.
And
go look for it.
So he's trying to pressure the Ukraine, and if you want good relationships with the United States, then you better find something on Joe Biden. But the whole time he's talking, if you listen, I think he's eating lunch.
He's doing something.
He's eating lunch while he's talking. We had to dig up a little bit of that and listen to it because he's like, and now listen, President Zelensky, if you can find this information, which doesn't exist.
And this is recordings he said don't exist because those calls never happened.
Well,
even though we had several witnesses saying I was in on these calls, they happened. But now we have audio. Now what does he say? That they didn't happen? That they're fabricated, or
I don't know as he said anything about it.
He has no comment yet. No.
According to a new study, cases of this is great news, by the way. Cases of sexually transmitted infections. They're calling them STIs now instead of STDs, including chlamydia, gonorrhea, and could spike soon as the COVID-19 pandemic winds down. As we are heading what the media has referred to as a hot vax summer, experts are worried that STIs could return with a vengeance. I didn't know we were supposed to be calling this "It's a hot vax summer."
Well, because if you've both been vaccinated and you've been locked up in your house for a year,
and it's hot both and gonorrhea hit their lowest point in early April 2020 when cases of COVID were on the rise. That's significant as cases of chlamydia and gonorrhea and syphilis, Carrie, your favorite, nearly quadrupled between 2015 and 2019. So they're expecting more STIs during The hot vax summer.
I wouldn't do that if I were
We
you.
should put an echo on. We need to do it. Put an echo on it.
You don't
It's a
wanna go
hot
there.
vax summer.
You don't want to be a part of that, trust me.
No.
I don't. I want
No.
all the vaccinations possible.
Well, yeah,
No.
that, but you don't want to
The
go out and
phrase.
have indiscriminate sex because
No,
it's hot
just the
vax
phrase.
summer.
Just the phrase hot vax summer. You don't want anything to do with it.
Why is that?
You just trust me on this, all right?
I
Do you
think
trust
it's
me
funny.
on this?
It's funny.
That worries me that you think it's funny.
Oh, okay, well. Utah reported 174 new cases of COVID-19 and 2 new deaths yesterday. The state says 2,650,067 COVID-19 vaccines have now been administered in Utah. And the rolling 7-day average for percent of positivity, people over people, is 6.2%. What that means, I don't know. And they report this every day.
It's something to do with people that have had more than one test. Like you tested positive, and then you go back, a week later to see if you're still positive. It's something to do with that.
127 people in Utah are currently hospitalized with COVID-19. I understand that, but I don't get that people over people. In Utah here, the drought is it's not going to be a hot vax summer. It's going to be a hot, dry summer.
Yeah.
62% of the state is exceptionally dry. That's actually a category.
And it'll be windy today. There's red flag warnings today. So hot and windy and dry is fire danger.
So this is an exceptional drought, more than we've seen in many, maybe ever. 62% of the state exceptionally dry. Available records show 2020 and 2021 have the 29 driest weeks on record this century, which is the extent of records offered on the National Wildlife Info website. The 30th driest week was in July of 2003. And the dry fuels are out there, and as Gina said, the wind is going to be blowing, so the fire danger is high. But we're just having water to drink and for agriculture is imperiled. Ogden City facing a water shortage, and the city's asking residents to take specific steps to help conserve water, and if they don't, they're going to fine you. Ogden City's water storage is made up of a lot of different sources, from private wells to Pine View Reservoir. And I saw Pine View Reservoir this past weekend. It's really low.
18 feet lower than it should be.
Area residents, they want you to have the water you need, but don't use more than you need. And they really are going to get tough and they're going to find people who are watering during the hot daytime hours and using too much water. And, one thing I hate to say, it would really help the situation as well, is raise the cost of water to people.
Yes, raise the cost, and there should be a tip line where you can rat out your neighbors for watering at noon. I would be the first in line to call.
There's a block of houses here in Salt Lake, people living in the 100 block of C Street, which is a residential street in the avenues. And the people who live on that block have not been able to have home mail delivery for, what did they say, half a year. Half a year they have not received home mail delivery. They have to go to the post office to pick up their mail. Because a neighborhood dog has been wandering loose and is a threat to the mail carrier.
So don't you call animal services?
Well, they have. One resident,
the owner?
One resident said her mail was car and she had COVID. To senators. She said neighbors were originally told that the mail service stopped because of dogs on their street, but says the Postal Service has refused to respond to her request for pleas for help. And other neighbors report. And so the post office, the postal service has said, due to a roaming, unrestrained, and potentially dangerous dog that roams the 100 block of C Street neighborhood, putting our carrier at risk, we were forced to stop delivering to mailboxes on the front porches of 9 homes. Affected customers were notified of the danger, but unfortunately the dog has continued to pose a threat to our employees.
I don't understand. I'm sure they've done this, but you call animal services and
they have
say you have to lock up your dog or we're going to fine you.
Apparently they have done all of that, and fines have been issued, and still the owner of the dog has declined to comment.
I was going to say, this is the owner being a dick? Is that what this is all about?
It seems like it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, they're letting their dog roam loose in the first place, so that's...
Yeah.
It says, so a reporter from the Salt Lake Tribune went to visit the owner of the dog. There was one medium-sized gray dog sitting outside on the porch when the reporter approached the house. That dog wagged its tail and didn't bark as the reporter walked toward it. Then a large black dog inside the house barked at the reporter through the window. When the dog's owner opened the door, the large dog ran out onto the porch where it barked and wagged its tail, but it didn't growl or bare its teeth. But it was, if you don't want that. You don't want other people's dogs barking, and
no.
Even if they're being friendly, you don't want them doing it.
Be a responsible dog owner.
Okay.
Not you, Bill. You don't have a dog, but
I've been accused of letting my cats roam the neighborhood.
They don't scare the mailman, though.
Well, one of them does, but
sports, weather, traffic.
Okay.
Or do you have more?
I just wanted to do one more a quick story for Gina. Stay out of California for the time being, Gina.
Why? I have family there.
Well, then you should warn them.
What about
deer ticks in
Oh.
California. Deer ticks are because of weather changes or whatever. There is an abundance of the blood-sucking little creatures.
I got a deer tick I don't know if it was a deer tick, but some kind of tick when we lived in California. I had one in the back of my neck.
Yeah, I had a tick, and that's where it was too when I had one.
My mom was giving me a bath. I was little. I was like, I don't know, 6 or 7 years old, and she had to pull it out with tweezers.
You're not supposed to do that because sometimes when you pull them out with tweezers, the heads, the body breaks off from the head.
So how do you get them out?
You're supposed to light a match, and then blow it out and touch the hot match to the tick's butt, and usually it will back out.
He'll unclench his jaw is the theory.
Wouldn't that send him forward if you get something hot on your butt? You don't back into it.
No,
you go the other way, don't you?
No, he's trying to escape. He wants to escape whatever that was. So. I know, Gina. I admire you trying to think like a tick. Trying to think like a tick is very good, but
Does that mean I could still have it inside me if
Could be.
they did it wrong?
I'll bet
Gina,
the head is
it
still
may
in
have
there.
burrowed all the way into your cerebellum. It may be controlling you now.
That would explain so much.
It would explain you thinking like a tick. That's for
Be watching for Gina Barberi's motivational book, Think Like a Tick. On its way.
All right, that's it.
Sports, weather, traffic.
Jiffy Lube Multi-Care gets services on brakes, batteries, spark plugs, and more. That's a job for Jiffy. JiffyLubeUtah.com for discounts, services, and locations near you. Well, I saw this yesterday on Instagram, and it made me so happy. The Utah Jazz, they took part in Salt Lake Pride celebrations for the first time as an organization. These new owners, I like them very, very much. The NBA team walked alongside those from the LGBT Resource Center in Circle during the march, continuing the high-profile efforts of Jazz owner Ryan Smith in supporting the LGBT community in Utah. This is so nice. In February, Smith, Dan Reynolds to campaign to raise $8 million.
Carl Malone, and He's got a box of cigars, and we're going to sit on the bandwagon together.
Carl Lamone.
Now, how does this work as far as, like, is this a series of games?
Yeah,
Yes.
7.
7 games, okay.
Potentially, depending on how
All
it
right.
goes.
You'll have to explain basketball to me.
Weather brought to you by, for a limited time, get a professional AC or furnace tune-up for only $39 with Scott Hale Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Call 801-264-HALE. We were talking about it during the news. It is a red flag warning. That means it's hot and dry and windy, and that's all a recipe for fire.
That spells
unfortunately.
danger.
Yeah. It goes now through Wednesday night, actually. That red flag warning will be crispy, 92, 90, and breezy for the next couple of days. Let's see. Traffic. Had that fender bender southbound I-15 approaching 90th South in Sandy. That's the only accident being reported. Are you reporting any? Let me check our message stream at 33986. Nope, but if you do see something, you can send it to us there, and I will pass it along to friends of the program. At University of Utah Health Plans, they provide medical and pharmacy services that meet you right where you are. For those without insurance, there's a special open enrollment period now through August 15th. Enroll today at uofuhealthplans.org.
All right. We will take a break. We will be back. We got round 1 of your boners, big boy news, all kinds of stuff coming up for you. KXRK Provo.
It's from the Girl Scouts. And then there's a nice letter say, "Hey, Bill, we get you. You're a guy's guy. You have unassuming strength, a casual confidence, and an uncompromising integrity, and are so dumb you don't know this is a form letter.
Wow, they really know who I am.
You know the spread of Sunday's game and have a steak ready to grill and a cold drink waiting in the fridge. You're man enough to be a Girl Scout." So I've been given a membership in the Girl Scouts.
So what do you...
And then I got this.
Do you have to sell your own Girl Scout cookies?
No, I
now?
think what that means is they'll hit me up periodically for money.
Yeah. That's a great gift, then.
I didn't want to say that what they're doing is opening a door to something that you will regret later. But
now I get this card. Now, little Bill, sick. He's sick. He was very ill. Barfing and all that. So that explains the card. And with this card came 3 pairs of really nice underpants. Patagonia, silk weight, boxer briefs.
Underpants.
Which I really like. And they're very, it's expensive underwear. I mean, it's like, I think they're $30 a piece or something like that.
You should get a whole pair of pants for that.
So here's the card that came with it. At least I'm too sick to cause trouble. Trouble.
Trouble.
And then you open it up and says, "Or am I?" ?
This is your Father's Day card?
Fortunately, you can cover your ass with these. Happy Father's Day. That's it.
Too sick. At least I'm too sick to cause trouble.
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 Yeah, trouble.
And am I?
And then you open it up.
That's a threat.
Or am I?
That's a threat.
That's
is what that
exactly
is.
what it is. So it was my Father's Day threat. Yes. Anyway, that's nice to be a Girl Scout, though.
Snowbird was awesome yesterday for Father's Day. There were a ton of people. Saw lots of friends of the program up there. They had garlic fries. It was perfect. They had bacon on sticks. Big, thick bacon on sticks.
So Gina was happy, and that made it a good Father's Day because she got what she wanted.
No, everybody got. Joe got a massage up at the cliff. Daddy Gary got a massage up at the cliff.
Mm-hmm. But first and foremost, they had garlic fries.
They had garlic fries and bacon on sticks.
Yeah. I went out to the Christiansen Family Farm, Hog Heaven in Vernon on Saturday and bought a bunch of meat. That was bought pork and beef. And that's actually for my wife's birthday, who's her birthday today. She wanted meat for her birthday.
The gift of...
He's got something.
Yeah. You? Oh, nothing?
So I have a passing familiarity with duck calls.
I think the Duck Dynasty people, their company was called Duck Commander, but that's how they made their millions of dollars. is with a duck with duck
With
calls.
the duck calls, yeah, that's how they made all their big
Okay,
money.
show him your duck call.
So
Well,
there's
no, wait.
blow
First
in
of
it.
all, wait a second. First of all, I want to know what brand this is. Mohammed. What brand of duck call is this?
Yeah,
Bill wants to know what brand of duck call it is. Into the microphone.
It's a Ducks Waterfowl duck call.
Duck's Waterfall.
DUX is a brand.
DUX.
I see.
Okay.
Okay, one more toot and then go to school. Okay, have a good day.
Yeah, that's important. It's important that he have one of those.
I can do
He's
that.
my little hunter.
Yeah,
He's my little outdoorsman.
Carrie was wondering why he had it, and I said, "Well, I remember the story. He's been duck hunting."
He's been.
Oh,
duck
yeah.
hunting. Okay.
He's my outdoorsman.
A lot of controversy about this whole tick removal thing.
What?
There's not a lot of controversy. It's
Apparently, the Centers for Disease Control say they should use tweezers.
Where?
Oh.
What?
Well,
No.
And then Jason countering with, no, the CDC is wrong. Use Vaseline or heavy Neosporin or burnt ointment.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Or
too.
freeze them and then go,
I don't know what to do with this
Well,
tick that I got.
this, how many
40
years ago? 40 years ago.
Same thing happened to me. I was in reading group. You know how you'd get in a circle in class, and then people. I guess you'd read a couple of pages. The next person would read, and there was something there in the back, right there in the back of my neck too. And I kept picking at it, and finally I pulled it out, and I was shocked to find it was a bug. It was a tick, and the head was still on it. So, my teacher freaked out.
All right.
So I was in the car with my daughter, Jonesy, yesterday. Mm-hmm. And we're listening to AC/DC, as happens in my car often.
Mm-hmm.
And she turns to me and she says, you know, Richard Ramirez was wearing an AC/DC hat when he committed his first murder.
The Night Stalker.
Oh, my daughter. She's following my interests.
So I was going to say, your daughter is officially a 40-year-old woman.
Yeah.
In that she loves murder stories and does she drink white wine? That's the next
Not
step.
yet. It's coming, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You know.
You're good at raising stereotypes.
And then at dinner, she started telling us all about Lizzie Borden.
Took an axe and gave her mother 40 whacks.
Well, apparently, according to Jonesy, it was not Lizzie that she was framed.
Lizzie was framed?
Yeah, it was the uncle. So this was our dinner conversation last night.
Hope you had steak. Hope you had rare steak.
So
when she saw what she had done, she gave her father 41.
So the Bordens were a wealthy family.
Yeah.
And mom died a long time ago, so it was dad and stepmom. Mm-hmm. And Lizzie and her sister were worried that stepmom was going to get all the money. So they enlisted their uncle to kill the stepmom so she wouldn't get all the money. But the uncle thought, I'm going to kill the stepmom and the dad, and then the girls will get all the family money, and then they can pay me more because they promised to pay me. This is what she's telling us.
Was
I've
any one
never
of them
heard
wearing?
any of this.
Was any one of them wearing an AC/DC T-shirt?
No. But she said, and the reason I know Lizzie Borden didn't do it is because back then, women wore many layered dresses with lots of, buttons and petticoats, and when Lizzie Borden came running out to tell the maid that, oh my God, the parents are dead, there wasn't any blood on her dress, and she would not have been able to axe murder her parents and had time to change her dress and come. This is our dinner conversation.
This all happened 100 years ago, something like 100 years ago, right? Wasn't it in the 1800s, early 1900s?
Yeah.
Listen, I saw that Elizabeth Montgomery movie. I've seen all I need to see. I concluded that Lizzie Borden took an axe and gave her mother 40 whacks. That's what we learned from that.
And then when she saw what she had done, she gave her father 41.
That's all I needed to see was the ABC mystery movie that night, and Elizabeth Montgomery reaching out beyond her bewitched stereotyping to play a killer, and effectively. And answered all questions for me.
I was trying to remember. I knew I'd seen some movie about this, but I couldn't remember what it was. And thanks that you brought that back to me.
Well, she's addicted to all of the Netflix murder documentary.
Oh, and there are a legion of those.
Yes, she's plenty of.
Middle-aged women alone are funding Netflix for everything.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you,
my daughter.
middle-aged women, for spending all the money on Netflix so that I could have shows like Sweet Tooth and Daredevil. And thank you.
But Richard Ramirez was wearing an AC/DC hat.
And was he?
I wonder if Richard was a Bon Scott or if he was a. Which vocalist did he prefer?
Classic, or was he a Brian?
Was he? And he was the Night Stalker, right?
Yeah.
Cut people's eyes out, or some of them.
So he did different. He was all over the map. He was men, women, old, young.
But then
all kinds of stuff.
Didn't the Golden State Killer?
That's a different killer. Yeah.
But didn't he bring into some sort of question as to whether Richard Ramirez had been pinned with more things than?
I don't know if you want to ask these questions, Bill. I don't know if you want to go there. You're going to start getting flooded
with your daughter
with people wanting to help you.
She'll know.
Yeah, that's true.
And now I'm getting recommendations of shows that your daughter can watch on Netflix.
Oh.
The Staircase apparently is quite interesting.
She didn't care for the Cecil Hotel. I didn't really either. It was not very sad.
I
watched one and a half of those, and it was so slow and stupid.
It was slow. They stretched it out for one too many episodes.
Yeah.
You didn't need that many.
No.
I mean, I like, classic and old L.A. I love those stories, but,
Yeah, I watched one.
But see, when I was her age, I was doing. We didn't have the Netflix murder documentary. I had to make do with Anne Rule books when I was her age.
You actually had to go to the library to find murder,
which is the equivalent of the Netflix murder.
She the one who wrote the alphabetical.
No, she's true crime. Anne Rule, Bill. Anne Rule. She worked at a crime tip hotline with Ted Bundy. Like, he worked at this and took calls from women that were scared about crime, and Anne Rule knew Ted Bundy. She wrote The Stranger Beside Me.
Oh, I remember hearing that, yeah.
But she wrote all kinds of true crime stuff. So,
well, this is really going to help our Radio from Hell podcast downloads, because anytime a murder podcast is on any system, any delivery system, huge, just right through the roof.
Well, we ought to do a murder segment at least once a show then.
Or you just call it that. That's what Carrie does with the Geek Show. Even if you don't talk about murder, you still call it a
just label it a murder podcast and watch the popularity rise.
I've actually heard some of those that I like, but mostly just like
the ones. like before the internet and everything. How did they find the killer? How did they take the clues and put it together and solve it's a mystery. They're solving a mystery.
Murder?
Yeah. What's Richard Ramirez, he had special shoes that they only sold one pair of. No, I mean, this is how they found it. They only sold one pair of them in L.A. the year that this was happening, and they could trace it.
What was wait a minute, though. What was so special about the shoes? Why did he have special shoes?
It was a quirk. He just happened to buy these pair of black shoes, and they traced that they found out that only one pair of this style of shoe that came in a bunch of different colors, I guess, they only sold one pair of black ones in L.A. during this time period. And that's detective work.
I think, Gina, upon hearing all of this, I think that it is incumbent upon you to bring to us, maybe every other week, Gina Barberi's Murder Corner or something like that.
Murder Reading Corner.
Where you bring us some facts about a murder case that that will make us go, oh.
I'm looking up Richard Ramirez shoes, and they did play a big part in. Mm-hmm. He's evil looking.
Yeah.
Murder.
Yeah.
We'll call it the
murder and addiction and carnal desire are the ingredients for this particular episode.
There you go. All right. Traffic, please, Gina.
That's going well. I have no accidents to tell you about, and you don't have any either. So it's all good, man. If you see something, though, you can text it to us 33986. For a limited time, get a professional AC or furnace tune-up for only $39 with Scott Hale Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Call 801-264-HALE.
All right.
Let's see. We've got boners coming up.
Yes, round one.
Here are the candidates you'll be considering in round one of the boner voting. Number one, please don't let this woman have another baby. Number two, no vaccine? Well, then lick my bleep.
Ah.
And boner candidate number three, boo, Principal Crooks, boo.
Boners round one, big boy news, all coming up after these. X96.
I'm really excited to worry about not being able to get usual sources. Apparently, I can get
your
fudge
usual
online.
Fudge
well,
source?
at the I like to go around to holiday boutiques, and buy my Christmas fudge. And,
but since normal fudge tunnels have been closed these years,
that's true. And but apparently, I can get my holiday fudge, and I'm hoping Pinoche as well. Online fudge, I think is.
But is it local fudge?
Yes.
Because you want the local fudge. I
think there's a way I can get local fudge online. That's what I'm hoping. But I like to go around to the holiday boutiques, and I'll buy some thumbprint cookies and holiday fudge.
Do you like nuts in your fudge, or are you just straight ahead fudge?
I like corn. I'm sorry.
We're just going to leave you hanging there on that one.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I don't know. That was terrible.
We're just going to let you.
There's a body in the street, and we're walking away from it. That's just
nuts, nutty fudge. Nutty fudge is okay. Yeah, just don't overdo it with the nuts and the fudge. But I don't understand fudge.
You've been going on and on about it, and you don't get it?
I don't understand it. It's like you're eating a giant square of frosting.
Yeah.
Right?
It's for people who don't like brownies.
I guess.
You can't eat a lot of fudge. Fudge is like
it's like that much.
Tiny.
It's like a mouthful, and that's all you need.
There's fudge in the Biden White House. Yeah. Let's see. Well, I
you mean there will be? Because
there
not
will
a Biden
be.
White House.
Well,
yet.
in the cabinet.
There's the promise of fudge.
There is fudge in the cabinet, in Biden's cabinet.
There's a director or secretary
Marcia Louise Fudge.
Oh, okay.
She's an American politician. She's in the House of Representatives, but I think she's been asked to by Biden to be Agriculture Secretary.
Well, that's perfect. Although
Fudge for
isn't
agriculture.
something you farm.
Well,
No.
in my case, it is.
Well, no, it's mined, isn't it? So,
Yeah, got a fudge mine.
mining for
Yeah,
fudge.
you drill for it
In
sometimes.
the fudge caves.
You can either drill for it or mine for it.
Oh, there's a cave. There's caves.
There are fudge caves, yeah.
Yes.
Those are very, very rare, but that's natural fudge. It's hard
That's the best kind.
hard to
Are we
find.
done yet with?
They have the special containers called fudgeware that they pack it in, and that's all I'm saying.
Now,
about that.
now we're walking
really
away
got-
from the body that you are in the
Yep.
street.
I am out.
I make one corn comment.
I'm out.
Mine was a little bit more subtle. All right,
Yeah, sure was.
it was. All right. All right, 7:19 right now, and live from our homes. Till further notice, you can see us at x96.com/live. We all have cameras set up in our respective homes, and there's Katie there in the studio in Salt Lake, putting it all together and sticking it into your ear and eye hole via the radio and x96.com/live. Let's see, it's time now for round one of your boners. Here we go. 3 news stories. These are examples of bad, stupid, or funny human behavior. You will decide with your vote of these 3 candidates which one is the worst, which one deserves to go forward to Boner Fight, possibly becoming Boner of the Day. I say possibly because round 2 happens at 8:20 with 3 more candidates. We get another winner there. And then we both of the winners, one from each round, put them against each other for Boner Fight. You'll decide Boner of the Day at 9:20. with Boner Fight. All right, so right now this is the beginning. This is round one. Let's send one of these three candidates forward. Here we go. Two candidates now, a third after the news. Once you've heard all three, you'll vote. One of you lucky random Boner voters will receive
general admission tickets to Fan X. X96 is proud to welcome Fan X Comic and Pop Culture Convention September.
But say that a young woman driving with a baby on her lap caused a crash in St. George Monday afternoon. St. George News reports that around 2:15, an 18-year-old woman traveling north collided with a middle-aged woman driving a white Chevy Traverse at the intersection of 1000 East and Red Hills Parkway. Police say that the 18-year-old woman had a baby on her lap. It was not restrained in any way. The airbag did not go off, thank goodness. It would have
killed the baby.
Since the baby was there, said St. George Police Sergeant Terrell Bangerter. She reported that she was possibly pregnant, and so she was rushed to the hospital with abdominal pain. The baby suffered only minor injuries, including bruising on the forehead, and went to the hospital in an ambulance. Their vehicle, the driver suffered minor injuries. But driving around, possibly pregnant, and the baby in the lap, please don't let this woman have another baby. Boner candidate number 1. Here's Boner candidate number 2. No vaccine? Well, then you can lick my bleep. This is, I don't know, well, don't know how these things happen, but the Tri-County Health Department, which covers Daggett County, Duchesne County, and Uinta County, says an employee of a text alert system that they hired went rogue and sent vulgar messages to residents. In a Facebook post, the department said it had joined with the Utah Department of Health, hired Public Results, a private texting service, to send information out about how and where residents could get vaccinated for COVID-19. They developed pre-scripted text messages and responses before the service started. But on Friday, a Public Results employee replied to 52 people with vulgar and offensive language. The health department said that they vetted the company, spoke with other agencies that had used the service before hiring them. Public Results sent a follow-up message to those who received inappropriate text, apologizing and saying that the messages were sent by a bad actor who was in no way reflective of the professional mission of that company. They've fired the company. The Tri-County Health Department has fired the company. But that's what happened. There's a screenshot here. It doesn't say exactly what the words are, but it says
you
this
can
is the
guess.
Tri-County Health Department. If you haven't had a chance to get vaccinated for COVID, we have some appointments available. To find a vaccine location near you, please click on this website. And then the person who it was sent to responded, "No, thank you. Please remove me from this list. Thank you." And then the employee responds, "Well, you can lick my bleep."
Not helping.
No, and I mean, I understand that, sort of. If
but the
take
person
me off this
isn't
vaccine list.
Going to look at that and go, "Wow, you're right. I've changed my mind."
So that's Boner candidate number 2. No vaccine, well then lick my bleep. Coming up in a moment, Boner candidate number 3. Boo, Principal Crooks, boo.
Boner candidate number 3 for round 1. Coming up after this, Big Boy News and Opinioendo, brought to you by
Feldman's Deli wants to thank their customers for their generous support during these challenging times. They're open, offering dine-in, patio, and takeout service Tuesday through Saturday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Come in for a nosh at Utah's only authentic Jewish deli. More information at feldmansdeli.com.
David Schwimmer is not over the Friends reunion.
He's not.
He's not over it. He doesn't want it to end.
Well,
he has.
We all have things to do, David.
No, but we've got to keep it together. He doesn't want the reunion to fade into recent memory. The actor was not on break from social media on Monday. The man who played paleontologist Ross Geller did even more photos. So he's been tweeting out just all kinds of behind the scenes stuff, more photos from behind the camera of the 6-part reunion show on HBO Max. And he did that on Friday. Then he did it again on Monday. He shared a round of a carousel of photos of his Instagram, this time entitled Reunion Snaps Part 2. He just doesn't want it to end. He can't bear the thought.
I thought he looked the best out of anyone.
Really?
Like, has aged the best. Like, you can tell Jennifer and Courtney have tried to maintain their looks artificially, but and they looked pretty, but David Schwimmer just looked like he's taken the best care of himself, maybe is the best way to put it. Because Matthew Perry looked terrible, and
David Schwimmer has really nice skin. I know that.
Yeah, no, I mean he looked great.
It's just beautiful skin. Beautiful. Yeah, just you can tell. He just has beautiful skin, and I suspect he has nothing but the best estheticians. It is official, Katie. The rumors are true. Rob Zombie is going to direct Munsters.
I saw this yesterday.
It is confirmed then? Where did we,
yeah.
did we get,
well,
did
Rob
we get
Zombie. Rob Zombie said, he posted, "Attention, boils and ghouls. The rumors are true. My next film project will be the one I've been chasing for 20 years, The Munsters. Stay tuned for exciting details as things progress."
Now, the original Munsters will have a true place in my heart. My fiance has Hot Rod Herman tattooed on his leg. Like the whole thing. But I'm excited to see how Rob Zombie takes this. Just at a new angle. I'm just curious.
Yeah,
well, I think part of the thing of the Munsters was the fact that they were friendly, neighborly folks.
Yeah.
Sweet. They were sweet.
They're not scary.
No. They thought they were normal people.
Yeah. And,
although I liked that take on the Munsters that they did with Eddie Izzard as Grandpa, the Mockingbird Lane.
That's right, I forgot. But I think really the unique thing about the Munsters is that they believe themselves to be just perfectly normal.
Regular people.
They feel sorry for their niece, Marilyn.
Yeah.
Because she looks human.
She's kind of homely.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's just the sort of the special part of that show. So I would hope he approaches it that way.
Well, I'm excited.
Let's see. Vaccination rates are falling off, imperiling Joe Biden's July 4th goal. Was saying
70%.
earlier.
70%. Yeah.
The comedian was saying earlier this morning, don't set goals.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens. The United States is averaging fewer than 1 million shots per day, a decline of more than 2/3 from the peak of 3.4 million in April. That's according to the Washington Post 7-day analysis. Even though all adults and children over 12 are now eligible, small armies of health workers and volunteers often outnumber the people showing up to get shots at clinics around the country.
It's just, it's a shame that it just shows you how far misinformation has led this country down a terrible path.
I think we should, when people are asleep at night, we need to sneak into their homes and vaccinate them. By the way, I think they're about to approve vaccination for like really little kids too.
Oh, now? Really?
Yeah, I think that's. I don't have it in front of me, but I saw something about that it's
close.
It's getting close to approval.
And that's if people have become really lax on masks and things, there's still that whole segment of the population that is not protected at all, and that's those kids, 12 and under. That's a lot of people that are still walking around completely vulnerable. We need to remember that. Even those of us that have been vaccinated, we kind of have relaxed a little bit, like, oh, we're fine. No, there's still a whole segment of the population that's not protected.
You can get, let's see, West Jordan Fire Department was dispatched to a quiet neighborhood yesterday, to rescue a handful of baby ducks out of a sewer. According to the firefighters, the bundle of ducklings were quickly retrieved from the storm drain, and reunited with their mother. Firefighters say the mama duck and her children are all fine and in a safer place. I don't know. There's a picture of the firefighter having to, ducked down into this sewer to rescue a baby duck. I
Was
don't
there
know
a
how
clown
they
down
got
there?
Apparently not.
No, but apparently the real controversy was, though, the firefighter felt slighted because the mama duck didn't say thank you.
Oh, just walked away?
Walked away. Just
Anthony Weiner's back in the news a little bit.
Oh, boy.
He doesn't have any money. He doesn't have any way to make money, really.
Whose fault is that, Anthony?
Yeah.
Well, whoever's fault it is, it's the fact. And so he's considering a new career in political collectibles, starting with the infamous crotch shot that cost him his seat in Congress. The several times disgraced ex-Paul said that he's
It's the sad thing is this is the most valuable thing he owns. So if he's going to make some money.
Weiner told the New York Times that the digital offerings could include the lewd photo he accidentally tweeted in 2011, a copy of the search warrant for the laptop seized by the FBI during the probe that sent him to prison in 2017 for sexting with an underage girl, or the email in which Jon Stewart apologized for making jokes at his expense. Well, good luck, Anthony. It's too bad. He was a smart guy, but he had this dumb
He was a
addiction
dumbass.
or whatever. And but whenever you'd hear him speak, he was very smart.
Yeah.
He was probably going to be the next mayor of New York. If he
That's the
hadn't.
thing, is that we really needed people like him and Al Franken, on our sides. But no. Yeah.
Well, anyway. All right, that's it.
Weather traffic.
We got a red flag warning in effect through Wednesday night. What does that mean? That means hot and dry and windy. Oh, you know who likes that? Fire. Fire loves that. So that 92 for a high today. Traffic has been very light this morning. Let me refresh my UDOT website, but it has been just green cameras all up and down the Wasatch Front. Yep, it still looks like we're flowing well, so that's good news. Now, if you see something that's not flowing well, please let us know. Text us, only if it's safe for you to do that, though, 33986. Prices at VWLayton.com are clearly listed. They've calculated all of the leases and monthly payments right down to the penny on all new Volkswagens at Volkswagen Layton.
All right, a boner candidate number 3 here in a moment, but just real quick, want to remind you that coming up as soon as we award round one of your boners, Chris Jones from Channel 2 is going to be here, and he's been following this whole critical race theory thing because he covers education for Channel 2 behind the books, and he's going to call in and kind of walk us through the whole debacle.
Beyond the books.
Beyond the books, thank you. Sorry about that.
All right.
Anyway, number 3.
Here's boner candidate number 3. Boo, Principal Crooks. Boo. A student was denied his high school diploma because he was wearing a Mexican flag. Ever Lopez said he wanted to represent his Mexican roots as he graduated from high school in Asheboro, North Carolina, and the school said the flag violates the ceremony's dress code. The public school district of Asheboro said Ever Lopez detracted from the importance of the solemnity of his graduation by wearing a Mexican flag draped over his shoulders. So he had on the regular stuff, and then he draped a flag over his shoulders.
There's a picture at x96.com/live if you want to see.
Mr. Lopez was set to become the first member of his immediate family to graduate from high school, but instead he said he was denied his diploma because he wore the Mexican flag over his gown. Until Mr. Lopez's name was called on Thursday, and this is the really crappy part of this, I think, the graduation ceremony had played out like any other. A student's name was called, the student received a diploma holder, handshakes, and people clapped. But when Mr. Lopez approached the center of the stage with his red, white, and green Mexican flag draped over his shoulders, he had a brief exchange with the school's principal, Penny Crooks, drawing some boos from the audience. After a moment, Mr. Lopez walked off the stage without his diploma.
Oh, please.
And raising his fist in the air as he returned to his seat. She said, I'm not giving you this because you
So she made a bigger deal.
Yeah.
If they're talking about being distractions and
Absolutely.
taking away from it, her behavior is the thing that did that, not his.
Now, to just jump forward a few days later, he did get his diploma.
Good.
He did get his diploma, but having to do that was just
It's
crap.
ridiculous.
Boner candidate number 3.
Let's review the first two and vote.
Boner candidate number 1, please don't let this woman have another baby. A car crash in St. George. People are injured, and the crash was caused by the fact that a woman was possibly a pregnant woman, 18 years old, driving with a baby in her lap, unrestrained. That's number 1. Boner candidate number 2, no vaccine. Well, then lick my bleep. An employee contracted by a Utah Health Department sends out profane text messages to Utahns, I think 52 people that he had,
And then helping.
Boner candidate number 3, boo, Principal Crooks, boo.
Hey, here we go. This is round 1 of your boners. You've got to decide of these 3 candidates, which one is the worst, which one deserves to go forward to boner fight and possibly become boner of the day. I say possibly because this is just round 1. We do this again at 8:20 with 3 different candidates. That's round 2. We get another winner there. Take the winner of each round and put them both against each other. You'll decide boner of the day at 9:20 this morning with Boner Fight. So right now you need to pick one of these 3 to send forward to the Boner Dome. Remember your candidate number, the one that you think should win. Put that single digit in the message of a text, and then text that to 33986. Okay? All right, there you go. Or you can call the producer's booth at 877-602-9696. Use your voice to vote. Or go online, x96.com. Look for the box that says Boner Voting June 8, 2021, and vote there. Okay? You have until the end of these messages to do it. Let's go. This is round 1 of your boner voting.
Less than a week away from Halloween.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I got to get my comic books together for the trick-or-treaters.
I haven't bought candy yet.
Less than a week, and so we've gone the entire month of October.
I'm going to give insulin this year.
It's expensive. That's an
yeah, I was going to
expensive
say, I'll
trip.
put you in the poorhouse.
That's true.
Entire month of October, and we have yet to have a visit from my very favorite friend of the Radio from Hell show.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I like Jimmy, but he's not my favorite.
And
He's my favorite.
Hildy's retired.
And I like Hildy, but not my favorite.
No?
Friend of... Come on, you guys.
Where are we going?
Well, Punk was here on Wednesday and
I
dropped
love
off some
Punk.
toys, but
I love Punk, but that's not who I'm talking about.
Mm.
I'm talking about
I don't know who you could be.
Mm.
Chainsaw Guy.
Who's that? What's that again?
Chainsaw Guy.
But-
Actually, you're usually not here when he's here, so
Well-
maybe you don't know how much I adore.
I do know because, as you know, Chainsaw Guy and I have a very special relationship. I'm the one who introduced him to you, if you'll recall.
It's true.
And I have not
he's
heard.
He's your life coach, right?
He is. He was.
Not anymore.
He was. Well, when I found out that he was self-certified.
You wanted,
That's when.
That's when I went. Oh well.
You didn't like his advice, and
That's
then you
what
looked
did it.
into it, and
Yeah.
but
I said, where
Because
did
he
you,
thought, if I'm getting this out of a psychology book, screw him.
where did you learn this stuff? I said, did you go to school? He said, no, I'm self-certified. So, but I have not heard anything from him.
well,
And I usually do by this time of year. I mean, he contacts me and said, the first thing he always says is, "Hey, how about Cuba going?"
is that your Chainsaw Guy impression? It's
Yeah.
terrible, by
I
the
know,
way.
I know.
You don't sound anything.
Okay, I
like it.
won't try to do it again, but he always asks about you right off the bat.
But well, then I'm putting out a call to Chainsaw Guy. If you're listening, we have less than a week to have you come visit us, or it just won't feel like it'll be like Santa not coming for Christmas.
I heard
it
he
will
was
be
doing
like
a-
the Easter Bunny not coming.
I heard he was doing a podcast, and he's kind of
Chainsaw Guy podcast?
Yeah, I heard he was doing a podcast, and he's kind of busy with that.
Well, if he, I hope I know he's a good friend of the program. I know he listens. So a Chainsaw Guy, just going to be really sad if you don't.
Well, if he can't make it to the show, I'll have him call you. And
We could at least offer some advice over the phone.
No, I want him in here. I need to see him. I
don't need the smell of the exhaust and and
it's always terrible.
His overalls are always kind of dirty.
And he usually doesn't button them up the right way.
Yes.
There's always something hanging out.
Well, we have 4 more days of Radio from Hell show where you will have the chance to.
Well, I'll
make
If
good on.
I find him, what I'll do, and I'll tell him, Kerry says that he can come, but only if he agrees to shower.
Well, wash the overalls.
Okay, I'll tell him.
That's all.
He's supposed to be scary. Dirt is scary. You know how petrified I am of filth?
So you like the fact that he smells so bad?
It's just part of the...
All right.
No?
I don't know.
Okay.
For those who don't know who we're talking about, Chainsaw Guy is the guy in the hockey mask at the end of your house who chases you out with a chainsaw. He's also a self-certified life coach and a poet. And people are suggesting that Chainsaw Guy appear on an episode of Remain Seated with Gina Barberi.
Podcast.
Because you like him so much, you should get a hold of him and invite him.
And
Then you can have all your chainsaw.
So maybe I can get Chainsaw Guy.
Well, that's because you've asked me one time, and you said, "Can you come over right now?" And I said, "No."
And it is time to award round 1 of your boner.
And round 1 of the boner voting is brought to you by Ribs.
Well, in part by Ribs, also by... Are you searching for Pokemon? Locally owned Haster Games has the best selection of Pokemon, Dungeons & Dragons, Magic, and more. Shop online at hastergames.com or visit the store. 6831 South State. Curbside service is available.
A lot of voting on this round, and big votes for every candidate. Boner candidate number 1, don't let this woman have another baby because she was driving with a baby in her lap and caused a car crash. Number 2, no vaccine. Well, you can lick my bleep. An employee contracted by a health department sends profane text messages to people in Utah. And boner candidate number 3, boo, Principal Crooks, boo. Student denied a high school diploma because he was wearing a Mexican flag draped over his cap and gown. And she made a big deal out of it, the principal did, by not giving him his diploma on stage. Let's see. Karen won the Fan X tickets, and the ultimate winner was boner candidate number 1. Please don't let this woman have another baby.
That is your winner of round 1. It goes forward to Boner Fight. Might be boner of the day. We'll see how it does up against the winner of round 2's voting. We do this again at 8:20. 3 different candidates. We get another winner there. And then we take them both, put them against each other. At 9:20 this morning is when Boner Fight happens. That's when you'll decide boner of the day. All right. Is Chris on the phone? I think he is, right?
He is.
Chris Jones.
Hi, Chris.
Yes. Hey, guys. How are you?
Good. Chris
Fine,
Jones does the Beyond the Books, Behind the Books. Beyond the Books.
You know, it's Beyond the Books, but behind the books sounds better. I think we'll go with that from now on.
Okay, good. And you've been looking into this whole brouhaha over critical race theory. And
yes.
So I was just looking us over some things about critical race theory. And this, just one statement here. It says, critical race theory is acknowledgement that racism is a normal feature of society and is embedded within systems and institutions, like the legal systems, that replicate racial inequality. This dismisses the idea that racist incidents are aberrations, but instead are manifestations of structural and systemic racism. Seems pretty okay to be talking about that to me.
Yeah.
Is that...
Well, and I mean, and that's what you're talking about is a theory that it's decades old, really. And it's just that, it's a theory. It's really a framework around which you can talk about race in America. And it's even more important now in the wake of George Floyd, the murder of George Floyd, and sort of what we've been seeing in terms of racial reckoning in the country. And this idea that we're finally, or maybe adequately, talking about race in the United States. And so I think what you're seeing is pushback. And we always see that with big social movements. Whenever there's steps forward in terms of racial equity, we always see, particularly from the right, we always see this pushback. And what we're seeing is a creation sort of in right-leaning media that has sort of created this sort of groundswell across the country. And now you're seeing it in Utah. And it's being driven primarily because of, this echo chamber that we're hearing, and also by a couple of groups in Utah Parents United, which is the anti-mask organization, and Natalie Klein, who's on the school board. And these folks have kind of been pushing this idea that words like equity, racial sensitivity, that these words are really just Trojan horses to get critical race theory into the schools. And the truth is, critical race theory is a real thing. But they talk about it in graduate school. They talk about it in law school.
Yeah.
They don't talk about it in the 5th grade.
No.
It's not being taught.
No.
It's not being taught in Utah schools. It just simply is not. We've been looking into it for...
If it's not there, how has this grown so quickly? If it's not happening...
For the same reason that the election wasn't stolen, and people think it was. It's all BS.
And there's this organization, Utah Parents United, is really very they're mobilized, they're passionate, and they reach out to their representatives. And the reason that this was even talked about, the reason they passed a resolution in the Utah legislature, is because these parents have mobilized, and they're telling lawmakers that this is going on. And I think I watched the press conference when Stuart Adams, the president of the Senate, and the Speaker of the House were talking about this resolution, and both of them admitted that they don't really know what critical race theory is. They just have been hearing from their constituents. So really what it is it's a grassroots movement of people who believe something that isn't true is actually going on.
And it's all motivated. It's all motivated by fear. That's what it is.
That's what the GOP trades in. They need a boogeyman, whether it's this or, the election being stolen or they're coming to take your jobs.
And there are plenty of people who are genuinely afraid that the white man is going to be replaced. They're going to take our jobs, that they're going to overwhelm us. We're becoming less white a nation, by birth. And that frightens people, and the homosexuals frighten them, and the vaccine frightens them. And
I would hate to be living in
this fear, what this fear is creating, is all this work. It's a tempest in a teapot, because here we are post-pandemic, right? Our schools have to figure out how to move forward. What's the next step for us? We've got to figure out how we're going to incorporate, or if we're going to incorporate, online education for our kids. We have to learn how we're going to catch up after the pandemic. We've done stories on how first graders and third graders, their literacy has dropped dramatically. The biggest drop in Utah history. And what did we spend 4 hours in the last State Board of Education meeting talking about? 4 hours of debate about critical race theory when our first graders and third graders aren't up to literacy rates. See, that's what this kind of fear creates. It gets in the way of really creating an education system that's stronger. And, a lot of the people on that board are really, really dedicated to education. But when you spend this much time on an issue that really isn't an issue, it's the kids, and I know it sounds like a cliche, but it's the kids who suffer.
Yeah. This is why it matters who you vote for school board and who you vote for your state representatives.
I vote for Republicans for school board. I'm a registered Republican.
And that's the problem, because the Republicans use these imaginary fears to get you to vote Republican, because they say, I'm the only one who can protect you from the scary thing in the bush that isn't there.
Well, and it's also it really is important, because I know that people think school board, whatever. A school board member represents more people than a Utah State Senate seat. So think about that next time you go to the poll and you vote for president, you vote for senator, you vote for state representative, and you decide, I'm not going to vote for anything else. You need to look into what the Board of Education is doing, because throughout history, it's boards of education that have really set the pace for debate on race and everything. Brown versus Board of Education. I mean, all these huge legal cases, the Scopes trial, everything's about schools. I mean, this is the hot spot for the Constitution. So really pay attention to who's running your schools, because that's where the rubber meets the road.
Chris, what about these outside influences, though? They come in and they say, you need to be worried about this. You need to be worried about trans kids, on sports teams, and they get legislators to try and introduce legislation, things that they weren't even thinking of. That's to me really insidious.
That's the thing that's really frustrating, because we've also looked into this idea of trans kids playing on sports teams, and there are no examples in Utah of this happening.
Again,
and I
not
think
a problem.
That's the concern that I have as somebody who covers education, is that we're focusing on issues that aren't really issues. It's culture wars, and that's politics, and that's how you get people who maybe aren't engaged in sort of the minutia of politics. That's how you get them engaged. That's how you get them out to the polls, and that's how you get them to vote, is when you talk about these cultural issues.
Exactly.
And that's the thing.
On the books.
How about just around the books? Chris Jones is around the books.
Adjacent to the book.
Hey, there's some books. I'll bet Chris Jones is over there. Thanks for being on the show.
Watch his stuff on Channel 2.
Chris.
Chris.
Usually every Thursday, guys. Yeah,
Thank you, Chris. All right. Traffic, please, Gina.
Yeah, we have a crash 54 South, 68th West in West Valley. In front of the program says wood debris just south of Farmington on I-15 southbound in the left lane. Thank you. That is helpful to friends of the program that are traveling that direction. They can be on the lookout for that. Only text us, though, if it's safe for you to do it, at 33986. For a limited time, get a professional AC or furnace tune-up for only $39 with Scott Hale Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Call 801-264-HALE.
All right. We do have, it's the three-bit gamer coming up. Jonathan will be here with telling us about what games are out to enjoy. And then round 2 of your boners coming up, along with Big Boy News. Stand by for all of that. Okay, shamrockplumbing.net.
Yeah, 30 years of plumbing business around Utah, that's pretty significant. More than 30 years. Shamrock Plumbing has been doing that, and no job is too big or too small. Shamrock has an entire department dedicated to water heaters. They have the standard water heaters, tankless water heaters. They have water softeners, water purification systems, all to keep your home nice. So Shamrock Plumbing is who you should call for any of that stuff, or just an emergency.
Yeah, I've called them for both of those things. They have certified licensed technicians. They aren't salespeople. They don't work on commissions. They're just there to either fix a problem you have, or, like Bill was saying, install a new system of some kind. I've had Shamrock Plumbing do both of those things for me. I've called them when I've had an emergency, and I had them put in a new water softener. They do great work, and they have for all of us for a long time.
801-295-1690 is the phone number, or go to shamrockplumbing.net.
The good news is that I've learned that if you combine the mangosteen fruit with certain alcohols, it will cure cancer. And I've got the margarita recipe here, the cancer-curing margarita recipe right here. 1 shot of tequila, 2 shots of Zango, and 3/4 shot of triple sec, all right?
It's a martini.
That'll cure your cancer.
That will cure cancer. I am cancer-free for 15 years.
And there's your proof.
So there you go. What more proof do you need?
So apparently they really put this in there in the company literature.
Oh, hell yeah.
You see that?
You can't do that.
No. What you do is you infer it.
Mm-hmm.
Say,
You get your distributors to talk about it.
You don't put it in your literature.
Look, all I can say to Zango is, why aren't I your spokesman? I'm cancer-free for 15 years. I found that it's the mixing with alcohol that makes it work. Why don't they call
reaction?
me? This is $1 million company. This is my ticket to a big pay.
And they're local here. They should know who you are.
They should know who I am, right? I could give them a whole list of recipes, drink recipes, martinis, margaritas, daiquiris that will, cure cancer and depression.
You're awfully happy now that you do.
I'm happy
Everybody
and
knows-
cancer-free.
Everybody knows that Zango won't cure cancer. It's Tahitian noni that cures cancer.
Can you mix that with alcohol?
Oh, no.
No, you don't want to do that, no.
You don't want to drink that, period.
Wonder what does this mean for them?
They have 15 days to respond. My guess is that either Orrin Hatch will swoop in like Super Hatch and save the day because he's big on that, supplement business stuff, or they'll just have to take that out of their literature.
Yeah, I think probably they have to say, sorry, we won't do it anymore.
They'll have to tell the people who sell it, don't say
Does
that.
really cure cancer. Or we don't have any evidence.
We don't have any evidence that it cures cancer. But Kerry Jackson, 15 years cancer-free because of the magic cancer-free margarita.
Because cancer's one disease. I love that when they say it cures cancer. Because cancer's a whole bunch of different things.
Well, that's the beauty of it. It cures cancer.
That's how
all
good.
kinds of
Apparently,
cancer.
That's how good this stuff is.
All cancer's the same. You drink this.
Drank all our good liquor, you big moocher.
I like that. That's a new one I put.
You drank all our good liquor, you big moocher.
The bad liquor's still here, but the good.
I drink a bit.
And I'll change this drop from.
What do you say you and me go out and get plastered?
To.
What do you say you and me go out and get
cure cancer?
What are you guys doing? We're curing cancer.
I am curing cancer with this magic margarita recipe. Okay.
Right this second.
Hey, right this second, I'm curing
cancer
right now, even as I stand here and look at you.
Cancer cells dying right and left.
Bob's House of Hose.
Nancy Pelosi's husband got PPP loan from the federal government.
Did Bob's House of Hose get a PPP?
I don't know. I'll have to check with Bob and see.
Bob's House of Hose did not receive PPE. Bob's House of Hose is too small of a business, even though these loans were meant for small business.
Bob,
Yeah.
how many employees?
I'm not actually Bob, you realize. I'm the announcer for Bob's House of Hose.
Well, announcer, how
I
many?
can get Bob if you'd like.
Is he there?
Bob's here in the sound booth with me.
Nice.
Telling you what to say.
What do you want?
Bob is the only employee at Bob's House.
I'm an independent contractor. Josephus.
Obama?
There he is.
Okay. Do we have a sponsor for this feature?
No, dive right in. I know we got a lot to do.
Well, here he is, the host of the 3-Bit Gamer Show, Jonathan Deason. How are you?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Well, thank you. Now, Jonathan, I have an email here for you. I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to read it on the air. It's a question. I'll just forward it to you. Sure. The guy can't remember your name, but he says, I have a question for the 2-Bit Gamer guy.
Well,
but I
we
think
don't
he
know
means
who
you.
that is.
I think he means you.
I tried to tell you guys.
That was the joke.
I'm telling you, you're asking a lot for that.
So, Jonathan.
Well, Gary, looks, after 4 years, someone finally got the joke.
So, Jonathan, what have you got for us today?
All right, so this weekend kicks off E3, the big gamer convention. I don't know. You guys remember it got canceled last year for the first time in like 20 years, which is kind of a bummer. E3 2021 is back. It starts June 10th, goes to the 13th, so that's Friday to Sunday. We've got we don't know everything that's coming out. There's going to be a lot of surprises, I would expect, but some things that we can anticipate pretty well. VR, virtual reality, Assassin's Creed. If you guys remember, this game is where it's like an assassin simulator, I guess. You sneak through cities and you jump off buildings into bales of hay, etc., etc., trying to in the story sitting in like essentially a VR rig playing these things. So now you're going to be in a VR rig playing someone sitting in a VR rig playing someone playing a video game.
So it's like that movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's like the Matrix in the Matrix. Another one that is really cool that I'm hoping we hear more about. This is called Starfield. This is from Bethesda. These are the folks that made Skyrim and Fallout, those series. There is supposed to be another Skyrim game, a sequel to Skyrim coming out, but it's not going to come out. Not even going to talk about it until Starfield comes out. So let's just get Starfield out so I can play the next Skyrim game, please.
All right.
Sure, okay.
We've also got a possible Borderlands spin-off, a Halo Infinite announcement. Halo Infinite is Halo 6, and the last time they talked about it, it did not go so well. And finally, this is the only thing in the whole wide world I care about, Hogwarts Legacy. That. Yeah, it's the Harry Potter game that's set in like 19th century Hogwarts.
Wow.
This one, hopefully we're getting some more news on. I'm getting a little nervous because it's obviously all part of this AT&T buys Warner Brothers snafu. So I'm hoping we don't lose out on a great game because of that. But yeah, E3, keep your eyes peeled. All of it is going to be, you can just stream it online, just watch it for free.
So that would be Hogwarts without Harry Potter, right?
Way before Harry Potter.
He wasn't even an itch in his daddy's pants by the time this game was.
I think the idea is that it's when Dumbledore is like not a headmaster there, he's like a teacher or maybe even a student because he's so old. So I think there might be some Dumbledore, but anyone else from the regular series won't be in it. So I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
We've also got some games out that are already out this month, some that are coming out later. The first one is Griftlands. This is, now stick with me here, a deck-building, roguelike, storytelling, sci-fi card game. Okay, I will break this down. So it's a deck-building card game, which is actually kind of cool because generally how this happens is you start the game with a deck of cards, like a base deck, and then as you play, you add, you earn, you buy different cards that build your deck up.
And you say card game, but if you take a look at it, it looks like a cartoon. It looks like something you'd see on Adult Swim. I mean,
yes, it's so cool. So the idea here is that you're essentially playing a digital card game, one that you'd play like a tabletop game. But like Gary said, you've got these really high quality animations that are all procedurally generated. And the story is essentially like you're a mercenary in space, doing space mercenary stuff, and your decisions and the battles you win or lose affect the story, the dialogue, the characters that you run into. And if you die or if you lose the game, you just start back over. And you get to keep like one thing from your last run. So maybe you were an ally with a certain alien, and then you die, and in the next run you start with your little deck, and now you have to build your deck back up. And but that guy is your ally, and so that kind of changes your story now. This time, it looks so cool. It's out now. It's on everything: PlayStation, Xbox, Switch. It's called Griftlands. Another one here is Chivalry 2. This is out on literally everything except the Nintendo Switch. I played the first one of this, and it was awesome. Just these huge, chaotic medieval battles where you play as any medieval soldier or knight. You have an option right at the beginning. You can be like an archer. You can be a swordsman. You can have a two-handed sword. You could have a big mace. And you start and you just run toward the battle because it's already going because there's 64 people in these battles.
Yeah, it's hand-to-hand combat.
32 on 32. Yeah, hand-to-hand. Everyone's battling. And like a couple times you might go running into that battle and you just get hit in the eye with an arrow. You didn't even get to
I just
the battle.
saw that happen.
It's bloody as hell.
Yeah.
It's so gory. And the idea here is that I get killed 3 times by an arrow. I'm going to switch. And I'm going to switch to a bow and arrow. I'm going to go find that guy, and I'm going to shoot him. So you end up with these small, like, little battles that are going on during the larger battle. You get your buddy. You're like, hey, there's a guy on that tower with bow and arrow. Let's go raid that tower. It is just madness. It's chaos. It's called Chivalry 2. If you guys love Game of Thrones and you want to be in the middle of a Game of Thrones battle,
That's
just
what
get
it's
your
like.
skull smashed in.
I'd rather just sort of watch it from a distance.
Chivalry 2 should be like opening doors for people and pulling the chair out.
That's exciting. Yeah. All right. Tell
I
us
want
about
that
this
game. Where do I get that game?
Tell us about this Mario Golf now.
So you guys might be wondering, what is Mario Golf? Well, this is like the 7th Mario Golf game. It's a very popular series.
Yeah.
And if you watch the trailer, it's Mario, it's cartoony, but as a golf simulator, it's a pretty dang good one.
I was gonna say,
they have all sorts of... It's not necessarily like you're thinking Mario Kart meets golf. Like, it is like very much a golf game. You're working on your swing. It gives you all like the terrain calculations so you can make sure that you're hitting the ball just right. You've got wind settings, all these other things. You can put a little spin on the ball.
And
this
that's just
is
it.
fun.
I've played golf simulators, and this is as complex as any golf simulator
Will
that
it
I've
make
played.
you a better golfer?
Except it's Mario,
except it's Mario.
Yeah.
Will it make you a better golfer?
No. It makes you a better golf simulator player. That's all it does.
Yes, you'll be a killer at this. It's really neat because you can use a Switch controller like you might use a Wii controller, so you can golf with. You can do the whole swing physically, like you're pretending like you have a golf club. There's also a mode called Speed Golf where it is you race from one hole to the next, which is a little bit like Mario Kart. That one looks pretty fun. But otherwise, it's called Mario Golf Super Rush. It's out on June 25th on the Switch.
All right.
Mario Golfing. And then just a couple remasters, not big news, but if you guys were familiar with these games growing up, you might be interested. They're releasing remasters of Legend of Mana, Zombies Ate My Neighbors, and Ghoul Patrol. So
Whoa.
those will be coming out throughout the month, and if you guys just need to get in on some of the classics, that's where to go.
When is the Critical Race Theory game coming out? That's
Never in Utah, apparently.
No.
all right. Lots of stuff, man.
Wow.
Yeah, that Chivalry looks really good.
Yeah, it's so fun. It's just wild, and it's like one of those games where if you get killed, you don't even care because it was like fun and epic. Because someone came flying at you with a spear, and you're like, hey, respect, that was a great spear kill.
All right, Jonathan Deasing, 3-Bit Gamer Show. It's a podcast, and I assume there's a new episode available right this very minute.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right.
It's up live now, and we're talking about E3 and a bunch of other gaming stuff.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right, traffic, please, Gina.
Got a crash northbound I-15 45th South in Murray, and I'm looking at the UDOT camera. It looks pretty stopped through that area, so probably want to avoid that. We also have a crash, single vehicle, I-15 northbound approaching Main Street exit in Lehigh. Car is off to the right shoulder there. And what are you seeing? You can pass it along to us if it's safe for you to do that. 33986. Price is clearly listed at VWLayton.com. They've calculated all of their leases and monthly payments right down to the penny on all new Volkswagens at Volkswagen Layton.
All right, bonus round 2 coming up. Here are the candidates you'll be considering. Number 1, wait a minute. Dr. Bum is not a doctor at all.
The hell?
Boner candidate number 2, the Beebs can't help himself.
Oh, no.
And number 3, leave the Yum Yum food truck alone.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, round 2 of your boners coming up. Stand by for that, along with Big Boy News and Opinioendo after these, X96. So we flew all Nippon Airlines?
Mm-hmm.
And
you're saying it wrong.
I'm probably saying it wrong.
And how was Nippon Airlines?
You remember when you used to fly and you got a meal?
Yeah.
Maybe 2?
Mm-hmm. And you were treated nicely?
You were treated nicely? You got...
It was a special experience?
Actual silverware? Let me show you.
Yeah.
You have a picture of actual silverware?
No, I've got actual
He's got
silverware.
it with him.
You stole it?
Shh.
Carrie.
They're our allies, Gina.
Yes,
It's okay.
Look at that. Actual metal. You believe that? All Nippon Airlines right there. A&A on the thing. So and they're little, So,
Yeah.
But you could do some damage with this. You could, but they don't have those concerns. This is the theme music for All Nippon Airways.
That was playing while
So this
you're
is while you're
being
boarding.
seated? Yeah.
While you're boarding. This is
It's lovely.
Isn't it? Though?
Yeah.
It's very nice. So anyway, yeah, it was amazing. Flying was actually pleasant.
And you know why that is? Because those countries, Carrie, are this close to being communist.
Oh, really?
Well,
if that's the case, we could learn from them.
The government subsidizes the airlines quite heavily in most other countries.
How about that? Maybe that's something that should be looked at, because everywhere I went throughout Tokyo and Seoul and Busan, the streets were clean. People had jobs. In the line, a rumor started that I hate kids. Well, it began to reflect poorly upon this morning show. Not just me, but on this morning show and on this radio station.
Yeah.
So in order to combat this horrible, horrible rumor that I really, really hate kids, I've decided that it's time for a public service message every Friday at this time called Just for Kids. And I do this because I'm a role model. Hi, kids. It's me, your role model, Carrie Jackson. The guy you want to grow up to be. Sorry we have to do this, but I got to talk to you about a new high that's going around. Now, on the street, they're calling it chugging the udder.
Huh?
Tipping the teat, lapping the lactate, pastures new, chasing old Bessie, or riding the White River. Yes, kids, I'm talking about this new high.
Yeah.
And I'm here to tell you, you should never, never try to drink an entire plastic jug of milk in the space of an hour. Never do that.
Don't do that?
Now, I'm talking the vitamin D milk, not the 2% or the low fat. All right.
The strong stuff.
And it's got to be the real thing. It can't be that lactate. Don't ever drink an entire plastic jug of milk in the space of an hour, okay? Now, some say that it creates a kind of euphoria, kind of like the time I drank too much Jägermeister. I mean, woo. I was messed up. Now, others say that the human body cannot possibly digest that much lactose in an hour, and it will just make you vomit. Be careful of those people, kids. Those people are called scientists. And our president has made very clear, science can't be trusted. Besides, they just want to keep this secret all to themselves. So never drink a gallon of jug in the space of an hour, because when you chase old Bessie, nobody wins. This is a message from me to you, kids. Okay, it is 8:20 right now, and time for round 2 of your boner voting. Here we go. 3 news stories. These are examples of bad, stupid, or funny human behavior, and you will decide with your vote of these 3 candidates which one is the worst, which one of these 3 deserves to go forward to Boner Fight and possibly become Boner of the Day, keeping in mind that the winner of this round will go up against the winner of round 1. We did that an hour ago. We'll take both of our winners and put them against each other. You will decide at 9:20 this morning with your vote who is Boner of the Day. Between the champion of round 1 and round 2, that's when Boner Fight happens. So right now, this is round 2. Let's send one of these 3 forward. 2 candidates now, a third after the news. Once you've heard all 3, you'll vote, and one of you lucky random Boner voters will receive
Alanis Morissette tickets. Alanis Morissette is coming to USANA on September 23rd. Listen all week to Radio from Hell in the morning and Todd Newcomb in the afternoon to win your tickets. This is a show date change, so all the previous date tickets will be honored. You can get more details at x96.com.
Here's Boner candidate number 1. Wait a minute. Dr. Bum is not a doctor at all. A woman has died after an ex-security guard at a Pakistani hospital posed as a doctor and performed surgery on her.
Oh, jeez.
Shamigma Begum, 80 years old, died on Sunday, 2 weeks after Mohammed Wahid Butt. Oh, it's Dr. Butt, not Dr. Bum. I put Bum in the title. It's Dr. Butt, B-U-T-T. Attempted to treat her back wound at a public hospital in the eastern city of Lahore. We can't keep up with every doctor and what everyone is doing all the time. It's a large hospital, explained an administrative official.
Is it that large?
Yeah, apparently. He said it was unclear what type of surgery the imposter had performed on the operating table, where a qualified technician stands. Public hospitals, where patients are required to pay some money, can be inefficient and chaotic. Begum's family paid so-called Dr. Butt for the operation and 2 further home visits to dress her wound. But when the bleeding worsened and the pain worsened, her family returned to the hospital where they discovered what had happened. Her body is being kept for an autopsy to ascertain whether her death was a result of complications from botched surgery, and the guard, Mr. Butt, has been charged and is in police custody. Boner candidate number 1. Wait a minute. Dr. Butt is not a doctor at all. There's Boner candidate number 2. The Biebs apparently just can't help himself. He can't shake, Justin Bieber that is, can't shake his childhood habits that keep causing him trouble. In a latest series of bad moves, Bieber was asked to leave the historical site of Tulum, where we have been, in Mexico on Thursday, for being disrespectful. The 21-year-old pop star basically ran amok at the archaeological site located in Tulum, a resort area south of Cancun. According to the Associated Press, Bieber tried to climb one of the pyramids. He then mooned everybody. I can confirm to you that Mr. Bieber was kicked out of Tulum, the archaeological site, yesterday, said Adriana Velasquez Morley, director of the...
Don't you know who I am-ing? Is that what he was doing? I can do whatever I want. I'm Justin Bieber.
Yeah, we're just being a dick. He and his mates pulled down his pants down and insulted our staff by mooning them. They also said, we have a very strict policy of conservation and respect for the Mexican cultural heritage that applies equally to all of our visitors, whether they're famous or not famous.
Of course.
Bieber and his entourage also upset the staff by bringing in bottles of booze. Nonetheless, Bieber has been invited to come back as long as he acts correctly. Boner candidate number 2, the Biebs just can't help himself. Coming up in a moment, boner candidate number 3, leave the Yum Yum food truck alone.
Boner candidate number 3 for round 2. Coming up after this. Big Boy News and Opinioendo now, brought to you by...
It's the coldest, driest, windiest place on Earth where weird, wild creatures thrive. Antarctica transports you to the farthest reaches of Earth and reveals what happens there affects every single one of us. Now playing at Clark Planetarium's IMAX Theater.
I don't understand these people a lot of times. So this is the Duggars.
Yeah.
And Jill Duggar Dillard has defended giving her rescue dog Fenna some of her leftover breast milk. The former 19 Kids and Counting star said on Instagram that she had years-old breast milk in her freezer that her son Samuel Scott asked to try when Samuel didn't enjoy the milk. So this is the milk you used to like when you were a baby.
Mm-hmm.
No. Jill gave the remainder of the... I don't know what the big deal is here, I guess. You got the dog lick
It's
up
been in the
a
freezer
plate
for
of...
years.
Yeah, 3 years, and, you know... It was the last little teeny bottle of breast milk in the freezer for nearly a couple of years now. Both my boys stopped breastfeeding around 2 years old, and Sam is almost 4 now. She wrote, so why not just give the dog? Apparently the dog didn't care for it either. She had nobody who wanted, nobody wanted her breast milk. So the Floyd Mayweather fight, if you can call it that, with Logan Paul. And people are saying Floyd Mayweather knocked him out. You are just temporarily,
dazed.
and you not dazed, but you just lose control and you fall to the floor, and then for a second you go, and you can get up. But there's a little piece of video, and he hits him in the side of the head. Paul throws some stupid combination that doesn't land anywhere. And he hits him in the side of the head, and Paul falls forward onto Floyd Mayweather and drapes his arms over him. And then you can see him start to go to the ground. You see Floyd Mayweather go, "Oh, no, you don't."
Because my guess is they were guaranteed a certain amount of money if they kept it going a certain number of rounds. So
Or we didn't want the show over that soon because, I already feel like a sucker paying for this event.
Yeah.
Not even a contest or a sport or anything. It's an event.
Yeah, it really does look like he just held him up for a second so he didn't fall down onto the floor. Let's see. Dixie, the name Dixie, a committee created to explore a name change for Dixie State University has voted to formally dump the name Dixie.
So that's as far as we've gotten.
I thought this happened already. I thought we already...
Nope, we've been wringing our hands.
No, the legislature allowed them or encouraged them to form a committee to come up with another. Well, we've been meeting, and we've agreed, yes, let's drop the name Dixie. That follows.
Get on with it.
I'm gonna vote for Pixie. Pixie was always my favorite of the two.
Was he the one with the vest
Pixie.
or the tie?
I think he was the one with the tie. Pixie. I'm pretty sure. And he was always my favorite. So, and then I think that the president of the university always has to be called Mr. Jinx. This follows recommendations, of course, by focus groups and community surveys that concluded it is time to remove the name because of its connotation with Civil War Confederacy. Well, that's not what they meant at all.
It doesn't matter anymore. It's bad. Get rid of it.
The focus groups have passionate opinions for and against the name Dixie, but 65% majority concluded it was time to retire the name from the university. The university is working very hard to become the nation's first and only open, inclusive, comprehensive polytechnic university, which will offer students from southern Utah and beyond unique opportunities for
You don't have to try to go into the world lane way and fix your seat and not racist.
there is
people in other places.
the community had reject names. Deseret.
That's good.
That's another problem.
Again, yes.
But they also just said they rejected the name Red Rock, which I know you had suggested. I don't know.
Well, then how about Red Cliffs?
Yeah, I don't.
Or do they?
I don't know.
Are they looking for a name that incorporates the whatever blah de blah that they said that they wanted to? Technic what?
Oh,
Polytechnic.
University? What?
Well, then call it St. George Polytechnic. I don't care anymore. I
guess it's
Why is
it's
this-
hard to come up with a new name. I don't. Just call it the college.
Yeah, sure.
It's the college.
Call it Utah's Florida. Utah's Florida University.
No, Carrie, we want people to come here.
Oh, okay.
Prosecutors have dropped their objections to Lori Daybell Vallow's mental health evaluation.
That means they looked at it and went, "Oh yeah, she's a goner."
Yeah, she is kind of nutty, isn't she?
There's no coming back.
Yeah, so there's that, and then finally this. Oh, this Joe Manchin guy is a Democrat in the Senate. Somebody needs to give him a swift kick to the rear.
Mm-hmm.
He says that he doesn't want to get rid of the filibuster because he believes in bipartisan cooperation on bills, bipartisan bills. Well, for instance, the infrastructure bill. That's already a bipartisan bill.
Sure.
It's a bill that would benefit both sides.
Sure.
So is the Voting Rights Act, for that matter.
Yeah, it would benefit both sides. But he's supposed to represent his constituents. But if you take a look at the recent polling of his constituents, they like the Voting Rights Act overwhelmingly. And so something is...
Yeah.
There's something going on. I mean, they've got something on him, or he's been paid off. Something's going on.
It's like 70% of his constituents.
Yeah,
like
overwhelming.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, and let's see. Are we out of time here?
No, you got a minute and a half.
So parents have revealed the best frozen treats for 2021. Parents Magazine. They released this year's winner of Best Frozen Treats. The list was handpicked by 20 kids and parents who taste tested over 75 varieties of newly released frozen treats, including 20 products that are free of artificial food dyes and parent-approved. They have parent-approved ingredients and portion sizes. So the best bar frozen treat, best fruity ice cream bar, Turkey Hill strawberry fruit and cream bar. Well, I don't know where.
Never heard of him.
Best nostalgic treat, Good Pop Valencia Orange.
I never heard of it.
You must have, because it's nostalgic.
But I'm not nostalgic for it if I can't remember it.
Best mixed flavor bar, Popsicle, Mango, Strawberry, and Vanilla Swirl Fruit Twisters.
Okay.
Best
I can imagine that one.
Yeah. Best non-dairy bar, So Delicious Dairy-Free Dipped Mint Fudge Swirl.
Don't waste my time with non-dairy.
And the best chocolate bar, Blue Bunny Loaded Bars Super Fudge Brownie.
I don't know.
There's a bunch of stuff in here.
For any of those.
There's a bunch of stuff here you just don't see in store.
Those,
here we go.
Those ice cream Snickers bars, those are delicious.
Or Twix. They have them in Twix, too.
Oh, they do?
Good.
Okay.
Here's one you've heard of. So best reproportioned frozen treat. So they made it smaller. It's what that
I like the root beer
That's
float creamies. You had those?
Oh, that
Those are
sounds good. I've had something like that. Yeah.
They had Breyer's Reese's Snack Cups, Klondike Cones. I'm trying to find more that we've heard of. There's Tillamook Orange Strawberry Shortcake.
The root beer float thing. I just remembered. Those were delicious.
Yes.
They were like an icy root beer surrounded by
a little creamy. Yeah.
Well, vanilla ice cream in the middle, surrounded by the root beer.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. They're delicious.
I love those. Where can I get those?
I don't know. They're not on the list of approved frozen treats.
This list
Not
is
approved?
wrong, then.
No.
This
It's
list
not
is
a-
wrong.
It's
not approved.
Parents Magazine.
I'm a parent, and I say this list is wrong.
Oh, wait a minute. I misread it. It's Parrots Magazine. I'm
Oh, that's
sorry.
different. It's very different. Sports weather traffic.
Former University of Utah head football coach Jim Fassel died at 71. He coached, I lead with the University of Utah, although he was a NFL head coach as well. He coached for the Giants. He worked for the Broncos and the Cardinals and the Ravens, and he most recently was in Vegas for one of the other, not the NFL, one of the other pro football teams he was coaching down there. He passed away yesterday. The Jazz, it's conference semifinals game 1 against the Clippers tonight. Bill, the bandwagon, will be by to pick you up at 7:30 so you can get to the Vivint by 8.
Okay.
Make sure you wear your mask because they are fully open there at the Vivint. They will be full of people there tonight. Weather, it's a red flag warning through Wednesday night, which means it's hot and it's dry and it's windy. A recipe for fire. So let's be careful with that. 92 for a high today, it looks like. Traffic, we have a couple of things to tell you about. Let me refresh this quickly and give you the best information. Bad crash eastbound 41st South, 55th West. All eastbound lanes are closed. You're going to need to find an alternate route through West Valley there. Crash I-80 eastbound just after the turnoff to US 40. Highway Patrol is partially blocking the right lane and shoulder traffic, very slow, backing toward Kimball Junction in that area. Crash northbound I-15 45th South in Murray. That was causing some pretty major slowage through there as well. This summer, downtown Salt Lake's Main Street will be closed to cars and open to pedestrians Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Restaurants, bars, and shops will extend their service onto sidewalks with music and art each night. Learn more at downtownslc.org/open streets.
Here's boner candidate number 3. Leave the world-famous Yum Yum food truck alone. A well-known food truck in the Layton area called the world-famous Yum Yum food truck, which serves Filipino and Asian fusion dishes. Shared photos of the van. We don't answer questions at this time, but somebody just defaced this truck with vandalism, with foul words, and most of it's pixelated out. But I saw a picture of it somewhere.
Oh yeah,
it's racial slurs.
Vandalism on the truck. It happened Sunday. We've gotten a lot of questions about do we need anything or do we need any help, and apparently people in the community are reaching out to help them. But they shouldn't have to. The world-famous Yum Yum food truck, apparently the food's very good and people like it a lot. But some asses had to vandalize it. It's just awful. That's boner candidate number 3.
Let's review the first 2 and vote.
Number 1, wait a minute, Dr. Butt isn't even a doctor at all. He's a security guard, but he operated on a woman at the hospital. She ended up dying, and Dr. Butt, who was actually a security guard, is in custody. Boner candidate number 2, the Biebs just can't help himself. Justin Bieber mooning the staff of ancient Mayan ruins in Mexico, trying to climb up on the pyramids and all that. Yeah, just being an ass. And boner candidate number 3, leave the Yum Yum food truck alone.
All right, here we go. This is round 2 of your boners. You've got to decide, of these 3 candidates, which one is the worst? Which one deserves to go forward to boner fight and possibly become boner of the day? I say possibly because if it wins here, it'll have to defeat the winner of round 1's voting. We did an hour ago, but we'll take both winners, one from each round, put them against each other. You'll decide boner of the day at 9:20 this morning. That's when boner fight happens. Okay? All right. So right now you got to pick your champion for round 2. Send one of these forward. 1, 2, or 3. Remember your candidate number, the one that you think should win. Put that single digit in the message of a text and then text it to 33986. Okay? All right. Or you can call the producer's booth at 877-602-9696. Use your voice to vote. Go online, x96.com. Look for the box that says Boner Voting, June 8th, 2021, and vote there. All right? So those are the 3 ways you can vote for this. Round 2. Send one of these candidates forward for Boner of the Day.
So you may have heard yesterday me talk about I got bit by something over the weekend, and I shared it with you yesterday.
It was on your ankle.
It was on my ankle, and I sent pictures to Katie. I don't know if she can put those up, but if you make a face, she has progression of the injury. It was like a little. And I showed it, I showed put some sport cover the picture probably out, which I did.
Yeah,
I was brave. I got hydrogen peroxide. I got Neosporin. I did the whole thing, and I covered it with a bandage. And I said, "Well, I'll check it later." But it hurt throbbing me.
Yeah, that's bad.
So a couple hours later, I got off, and it had gotten much worse. Which I posted a picture of that on my Twitter as well. And it was oozy and a weird color, and it hurt. And so after much discussion and tweeting about it, because that's what you should really do is tweet about it, I talked to my husband about it, and he said, I think you probably should go to the Instacare. This has gotten worse, not better.
Let me know how it goes, babe.
Yeah.
You need a ride home?
I was a little nervous to go to the Instacare. So I went to the one on 4th South. And, Bill, is that the one where you went to get your COVID test?
No, that was in a parking lot at a church.
Yeah, this was.
But they do a lot of COVID testing there.
But it was closed. So all the COVID tents were there, but it was closed, which is weird.
9th East?
4th South, and right there. And so I go into the Instacare, and there's nobody there. And I'm thinking, gosh, is it closed? Nope, there was a lady.
What time of the day was this?
Yesterday.
What time of the day?
Oh, like 5 o'clock. And they checked me in and said, go wait over there. And I said, okay, this is so fun. Because I was nervous about going. And while I was sitting there waiting, these 5 girls come in together. They all had masks on, and one of them goes up to the counter, and she says, yes, I think I have a fever, and I'm having a hard time breathing. And, she's listing all the COVID symptoms. I'm like, awesome. Now I'm in a waiting room with her. But why are these 4 other girls with her? You needed an entourage to
and they're not supposed to do
Instacare?
that. They're supposed to go to the stations outside.
Yeah. Well, they were closed.
Oh.
The stations outside were closed. But why do we need all these people in here? But they took me back, and I said, can you tell what this is that bit me by looking at it? And the doctor said, it's infected now. I can't tell what it was. But we can clean it out for you, give you an antibiotic, and then we're going to test the pus and see what kind of pus it is.
Pus test. Pus test.
Pus.
At home, where I am supposed to change the bandages and clean it up, and I don't have to de-roof it. That's already been done.
Well, they say you're going to be okay.
I mean, yeah, they put me on a pretty strong antibiotic, and he said, we'll get back to you with exactly what, it could be a staph infection, it could be MRSA, it could be who knows what.
Will they be able to tell you what bit you, do you think?
Nope, and that's the frustrating thing.
Damn.
He said
that's the big question.
I'm looking here. It says de-roof. The definition of de-roof is to remove the top from a building. So I don't.
That's how big the pustule got. It was the size of a building.
It also means to remove tissue from a wound.
It did look big, and it did look ooey gooey.
It was so gross.
It was dripping at one point. I thought I saw.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, here's the question. If you're taking the antibiotic, can you have wine?
Are you saying there's a chance I can't have wine?
Yeah, there's a chance because sometimes they say with some medications.
Oh, man.
That's just those doctors that don't want you to drink.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't last night. Well, because I'm taking so much. It's 3 of these antibiotics 3 times a day. And I'm thinking maybe on alcohol that won't taste so hot.
I think you better check, yeah.
See, now, I don't get what de-roof, but when they say they're going to debride a wound, it's the same thing. Remove unhealthy tissue from a wound.
I don't know. I was de-roofed. That's all I know.
Ask your doctor or construction worker.
Would you like to be debrided or de-roofed?
All right. All right. It's 8:48. Let's award round 2 of your boners.
And round 2 of the boner voting is brought to you in part by Brisket.
And Young Automotive Group has a huge selection of new vehicle brands and over 1,000 pre-owned vehicles. You'll find the vehicle you want at a price you can afford. Visit any Young Automotive dealership or browse online at youngautomotive.com.
Wait a minute. Dr. Butt isn't a doctor at all. He's a security guard. But he operated on a woman at a hospital in Pakistan, and she died. And he got a lot of votes, but not enough. Justin Bieber couldn't do it either. The Yum Yum food truck wins round 2. Bonus candidate number 3.
All right, there's your winner of round 2. It goes forward now to Boner Fight. It might be Boner of the Day. Depends on how well it does against the winner of round 1. Anyway, you'll hear both of them, and you'll vote for them both, or, well, one of them, really, at 9:20 this morning. That's when Boner of the Day is decided with Boner Fight.
That's a category of accident, and does it happen a lot?
It is. It does, actually, yeah. It's one of the calls. It's probably next to auto accidents. It's probably the second most call that we receive. And primarily they happen at businesses, so it will be someone who slips and falls at a gas station or a supermarket, something like that. But, yeah, it happens fairly often.
Because of something that, I mean, presumably you take the case because it's something that the gas station or the business has done to cause this slippage and fallage.
Correct. Yeah, Gina's right. It's some type of negligence on the store. They either should have fixed a permanent condition like a crack in the sidewalk or the asphalt walking into the business that someone trips on, or there's ice that's formed in a walkway that they should have cleared out by the time people started coming to the store, and they didn't, and someone falls on it. So, yeah, some type of condition, either a permanent or temporary condition that they knew about that they should have taken care of so that it didn't pose a danger to people walking.
Don't people have the tendency, the people who slip and fall because of these things, a lot of times they have the tendency to say, I shouldn't have been so clumsy?
Yeah, some of them should. But a lot of the people, it really is. And the tough thing with slip and fall, they are hard cases. So that's definitely an area where we always tell people to call in, and we can talk to them and tell them if they have a case or not, because some of them are situations that we can't help people out with, because some of them could be that someone was just clumsy and they fell, or it was something that the business, or it can also happen at a residence. So we get a lot of calls from apartment complexes or condominium complexes, or even people visiting a friend or falling at a neighbor's house. So those are situations too, but that's definitely an area where we encourage people to call in, talk to an attorney, and we can explain to them if they have a case or not.
So if you call the advocates, and let's say somebody, let's say I've been at my friend's house, and he's got too much wax on his floor. It's too slippery, and I slip and I fall and I break my coccyx. So then I say to my neighbor, well, I don't want to sue you but I don't have enough money for hospital bills. You're not really suing your friend, are you?
Correct. Yeah, we're not going after the friend. We're going after their homeowner's insurance or renter's insurance. So either one of those policies is who we would be making the claim with. And with any case, if I only file a lawsuit by 10%, a lot of people get it on lawsuit. They want to know. That's the whole insurance. That's why we have insurance on automobiles as well as on our homes, is for situations where accidents happen, so that you're not paying it out of pocket, but someone that was injured on your premise or that you hit with your car, they can be compensated for the negligence that happened. So, yeah, we wouldn't be going after them. It would be after their insurance.
So the best advice is, try and not be clumsy.
Yeah.
Try
Some
not
people
to.
can't help that, though.
I know. Listen, I had a friend. I swear to God, if he could trip over anything. That you would say, I don't see what you tripped on, but
was
he
his
tripped
name
over.
Dick Van Dyke? Was that your?
No, it was Scott Geary.
Oh.
But if you do slip and fall and hurt yourself at a store or friends, and you think you might have a case, then you should call the advocates. It's 801-355-5550, if I remember correctly, and you can call any time of the day or night, right?
That's right. Yeah, anytime, 24/7. You can also chat with us on our website. You're speaking with an attorney on the chat feature as well. So whatever way of communication works for you.
All right. So wake Mark Stewart up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Sure.
He'd love that. You can call him. It's 3 a.m.
Hey,
right?
that's the best time.
Yeah. All right. It's the Advocates, 801-355.
Undivided attention.
Right, exactly. 801-355-5550. If you think you have a case, call them. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, guys. Have a great week.
All right. Traffic, please.
Bad crash eastbound 41st South, 55th West. There's one left lane that police have opened heading east on 41st South, but the rest of the lanes are closed. I would still avoid that area if you can. Crash at the on-ramp from 2100 North in Lehigh to go southbound I-15. One car's on the left facing sideways. Another's blocking the right shoulder. Plus there's emergency vehicles in that area, so I would avoid that as well. And, friends of the program just texting in about that I-15 northbound accident. They say causing backup right before 53rd South. Thank you for sending that in via text at 33986. That's helpful when you do that, and I hope you're only doing it when it's safe for you to do it, and I'll pass it along to friends of the program. That's traffic.
We will take a break. We will be back. Tuesday Tunes with Todd coming up after these, and a reasonable amount of news. Boner fight, all coming up. Stand by. KXRK Provo, we got to talk to you now about Hoops Vision Correction.
A good Father's Day gift, a great Father's Day gift.
This is such a good idea.
Help your dad get rid of his glasses or contact lenses. You say, hey, Bill and Carrie don't wear glasses or contacts. You know why? Because they went to Hoops Vision.
That's true. And your dad, the day after Father's Day, will be able to brag because all the other fathers will be coming into the office. It's like, yeah, I got a card. Yeah, I got a golf club. I got Vision. How about that?
Right now, for Father's Day, Hoops Vision is offering $1,400 off the LASIK procedure. That's $1,400, $700 per eye. That's remarkable. So set up a free, no-obligation appointment for your dad right now. Just call 1-877-30-LASIK. That's 8. I don't know why I put the 1 there. You don't really need that. It's just 877-30-LASIK, or do it online, hoopsvision.com.
Radio from Hell on X96.
So anyway, we're up there, getting bags of food and turkeys. But when we first got there,
this is before we went on the air.
Now I didn't say this to her on the air, did I?
No, this was before we went on.
She introduced herself, and I forget her name. Hi, I'm so and so with the food bank, and we said hi, and she handed us a fact sheet, and it's just a few things there, and she said, and then she said, I don't even think we asked her to be on the radio.
Didn't.
She said, I don't want to go on the radio. And Carrie said, well, come on, we've got to want to talk to somebody from the food bank.
Yeah.
You're here. You're an expert.
I believe every year we have spoken with somebody.
Yeah, and I said, well, we need somebody from the food bank. We'd like somebody from the food bank to talk. And she said, well, what are you going to ask me? and it made me a little mad.
It did, because it's kind of a...
and I said,
silly
well,
question.
I'm going to ask you, what the velocity of a V1 rocket is, and how to build a diesel truck, and what is the composition of quartzite.
Yeah.
I said, I'm going to ask you stuff that you can answer about the food bank.
The stuff that was on the sheet.
Easy stuff. She ran. She disappeared. And never came back.
Yeah.
And no one else from the food bank.
No.
She was the representative that morning.
And
you could have handled that a little better.
Yeah, I could have. And I think I did say, well, could you get us somebody who will talk? I think I said that. And that's when she said, well, what are you going to ask me?
I think he was just trying to point out to her that that was kind of a silly question. You're here to represent the food bank. Tell us about hungry people.
I was, but I kind of snapped at her.
But people that have never been on the radio or put in that position, it makes them nervous just right off the bat.
Gina, I don't think, again, you really need, other than that seems to be your role, to apologize for this. I'm doing the apologizing. You don't need to.
Once again,
it's my turn to apologize.
Stepping all over Bill's thing.
Stop apologizing. I'm apologizing.
You're always there to ruin the punchline, and now you're ruining the apology.
And quit throwing your shoes at me.
Wait, there's another one.
So she really never said why she didn't want to be on the air, did she?
No, but she was scared. She was nervous.
She did the I don't want to be on the air.
Well, maybe she had a real job and was supposed to be at work and didn't want anybody to hear her.
No, but anyway, I feel bad about it. I'm sorry. I'd like to find out her name, and I'll send her an apology or.
Yeah, I wouldn't call her. You'll scare her.
Yeah,
I didn't mean to scare you, and I'm sorry. I was a little short, but it's first thing in the morning, and we're just getting it together, and you know how I am.
Yeah,
but she doesn't.
Again, you can't treat everybody like you treat me.
Oh, shut up! I can too. You call right now, and I'll tell you to shut up. I don't care who you are.
Carrie, Bill, and Gina on X96 Radio from Hell.
All right, and remember,
No pee breaks, people. No pee breaks.
because it's
that little thing to make sure my shirt was on frontwards, because my pants are fine, but I'm one of those guys where you put on your shirt and sometimes halfway through the day you're like, oh my god, it's backward.
Yeah, I've done
The
that.
tag is in the front, and
no, I'm not.
Yeah,
one of
because they
those.
don't even have tags anymore. They, it's just t-shirts and.
I've done it, except the shirt is not backwards; it's just inside out.
I can't.
Oh yeah, I do that too.
I can't relate to either of you.
carrying his
you're
iron
always-
shirts every day.
You're always so tonsorially replete.
The one time I do have trouble putting my shirt on correctly is in the middle of the night when the dogs want to go up and pee, and then I have just a T-shirt that doesn't have a big print on the front, so I know it's the front.
Right.
That's how you tell.
But enough of this chatter about T-shirts and diapers.
We've got things.
Todd's got a song for us, I think, right, Todd?
I do, and it's our friend Tom DeLonge, with Blink-182 forever, and I will always go on record, and it's just not Blink-182 without Tom. Like, the new version of Blink, it's fine, it's good, but you gotta have Tom. But anyway, he's been busy with his other project, Angels and Airwaves. And I mean, they've been working on this album for a long time, and he posted on Instagram on his page that he's finally done with the album. They turned it in, so I expect the album comes out sometime later this year. They did give us a new track, and I guess it comes at the right time with all of the UFO videos that Tom DeLonge has been talking about. Turns out he's right. He thought he was nuts, but yeah, he's right. And his new album, on the way. This track that I want to play for you, it's like his music with Angels and Airwaves is so much more involved than Blink, because we love Blink-182, but I mean,
they're straight ahead pop punk.
Yeah, I mean, it's 3 chords and the truth and some fart jokes. But he's always had more of a serious face with Angels and Airwaves. This track sounds like he's been enjoying his Rush records, because it's almost like prog rock. So it's good though. Like, it's really cool.
Well,
you'll
all
like
right.
it, Carrie.
What's the name of the song?
The song is called Euphoria.
Euphoria. Okay. And do we know the name of the album?
Nothing really yet, other
Not
than
yet,
they've finished it. Yeah.
He's keeping it a secret, like his UFOs videos. All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to it then. Let's hear this prog rock masterpiece. It's Angels and Airwaves. The song is called Euphoria. Tuesday Tunes with Todd, X96.
And now it's time for another edition of Ned Hastings, Smoking Psychotherapist. Brought to you by Iger Brothers Chain Link. Whatever your chain link need, be it fences, neck ornaments, or medieval armor, call Iger Brothers. We've been linking you up with the finest chain link products for over 30 years. And now Ned Hastings, Smoking Psychotherapist.
Ladies and gentlemen, order. Order, please. It's time to get this committee meeting underway. The Utah State Legislature has impaneled this panel to look into Utah's new law prohibiting cigarette smoking in all public places. We'll be hearing from a series of expert witnesses today. The first person to testify is a psychotherapist named Ned Hastings. Sergeant at Arms, could you call Mr. Hastings to the committee room, please? Mr. Hastings, Ned Hastings, please come into the committee room. Mr. Hastings, thank you for being with us today. May I say that this is an unusual contraption that you're wearing. It looks like a spacesuit.
Close, but no cigarette, Mr. Chairman. It works on the same principle as a spacesuit, and it was developed by NASA. But this is my patented Ned Hastings smoke suit. The backpack portion recycles fine, rich Turkish tobacco instead of fresh air. The bubble headgear captures every bit of smoke. None escapes into the outer atmosphere, thereby allowing me to roam freely through Utah's smoke-free environment.
Well, I'm not sure that this is allowable. You may be breaking a Utah law.
Oh, but I'm willing to take that risk for the sake of sweet, sweet tobacco.
Mr. Haston, I'm having a hard time seeing your face through the bubble.
Oh, yes. I'm still working on a system to clear the tar and nicotine resins from the inner surface. I have a devil of a time behind the wheel of my sporty car.
Oh, yes. Mr. Haston, you've been called before this panel as an expert witness. You are a psychotherapist, are you not?
I am.
And what is your expert view of the new Utah Clean Air Act?
I feel that it is an abomination before God and man. Not only does the law discourage people from finding good mental health by becoming new smokers, it is causing those existing smokers who have achieved some measure of mental stability to become unhinged. If this law stays in effect, I am anticipating a rash of crimes the like of which you little people have never...
My God, his suit's sprung a leak!
Filthy tobacco smoke is leaking into the hollow chamber. Evacuate this building immediately!
Oh, no. If tobacco smoke is leaking out, that means that fresh air is getting in. Must reach cigarettes in car. Holy shit!
Will Ned make it to his cigarettes in time? Join us next as Iger Brothers Chain Link presents another in the continuing adventures of Ned Hastings, smoking psychotherapist.
Here's the thing about that song, because you said he's been listening to his Rush records. Yes, and it starts out very Tom Sawyer. Then it becomes its own thing, and then it ends with that Rush vibe again.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. None of these things, you know.
No, it's really cool. And I'll say this about Tom DeLonge and Angels and Airwaves. He was in Blink-182. He's had a wonderful career. He's a huge rock star. He plays sold-out shows for Angels and Airwaves. He doesn't need us at all, right?
No.
But when Angels and Airwaves last came through town, and they've always done this, they will come to the station and they'll do an interview, and he's the nicest, coolest dude, and they'll play acoustic. And I got a chance to do the interview with him, and it probably was a couple of years ago when they last came through. But that video of the acoustic performance and chatting with him, you can find it on x96.com. So. You have to like the guy. You have to respect him because he's cool to his fans, to the radio stations that have supported him for 2 decades or more now. So,
yes.
Yeah, see?
It's very similar.
Again, that song
not in a bad way.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
No.
It starts out as this Rush song, becomes something else, and then closes as a Rush song. I
So
think
you guys
it's
are
great.
accusing him of cribbing from Rush.
No,
Copying
tribute.
Rush.
Not at all.
It's inspiration, Bill.
Tip of the
Okay,
hat.
sure, okay. Who's stealing from him?
No, for sure. The artists influence each other always, and I think that's how it continues to evolve. So, pretty cool stuff. I really like that song.
Yeah, that was interesting. All right, so that was Euphoria from Angels and Airwaves.
Nice.
Thank you, Todd.
Thanks, Todd.
I guess we'll talk to you at the meeting.
I can hardly wait.
I know you can hardly. Go ahead. Tuesday Tunes.
Tuesday Tunes with Todd on X96. Ready for mail.
All right. Well, we will take a break. We will be back. We've got Boner Fight on the way to determine who is Boner of the Day coming up. Stand by for that. UtahAdvocates.com. You can go there. And there's several ways to chat right there on that website. First of all, there's an anonymous online chat where you can talk with a lawyer. And again, it's anonymous. It's just keyboard.
Yeah.
And then there's the phone number. And 24 hours a day, you will talk to a lawyer, not a secretary or a gatekeeper, a lawyer.
Yeah, it's 801-355-5550. That's that number Carrie's talking about. We were talking with Mark Stewart from the Advocates on the show earlier today, talking about slip and falls. Those can happen at businesses and at people's houses. And just know that if you're at your friend's house and you slip and fall, you're not suing your friend you're going after his insurance company to help pay for your medical bills.
And just tell him to make sure that the rug is not all bunched up like that again. So call the advocates if you've been hurt in an accident and you don't know what to do. 801-355-5550 or go to utahadvocates.com. Carrie, you're close, the closest of all of us to toys. I mean,
yes,
you're surrounded by them.
Like physically, right now.
Yeah. So the Toy Hall of Fame.
Yes.
They've announced their inductees for this year. One of these I don't even know, and one of them I'm not sure why it's classified as a toy. So the National Toy Hall of Fame in New York announced this year's inductees are the classic doll Baby Nancy. Do you know Baby Nancy, Gina?
It's just one of those baby dolls that have been around forever. It's just one of the first and earliest, and it's just been a mainstay.
The only doll I could really say. Oh, Betsy Wetsy. I remember.
Baby
Betsy
Nancy
Wetsy.
is the reason she's a baby doll.
Oh,
That's
and the game got that way. But
it's you don't necessarily. I mean, what the classification of toy is. It's hard to say. I think it's anything that keeps your kids occupied.
Yeah.
And that dates back to
hopscotch.
Even further. I mean, further cavemanums.
Yeah. So they're trying to make cut. Bingo.
Bingo hasn't been in there yet.
Not yet.
Huh.
What now? You might know what this is, Gina. Briar horses.
I collect them. They're my favorite. I love horses.
Right. Masters of the Universe.
Yes.
My Little Pony. Risk. There's Master of the Universe right there. Carrie's got it at x96.com/.
Oh, He-Man. I'm not in the Hall of Fame yet.
Of course, neither's He-Man. Sorry, the game Sorry. Tamagotchi and Yahtzee.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're a Baby Nancy, created in 1968, became the best-selling black doll in Los Angeles by the end of the year.
Yeah, Briar horses were that's all I wanted for my birthday and Christmas, because they were like Carrie collects his toys. Like the new ones would come out, and there were ones that were hard to find.
How many do you have? How many did you have?
Oh, I probably had 30 or 40 of them.
And where are they now?
I don't know.
Why?
They're probably in a box in Mary Claire's garage, probably. But
don't you want to go dig them up?
Yes, now I want to. So they had there will be famous horses, like famous race horses.
Seabiscuit.
Or famous horses from TV and movies.
Mr. Ed.
Yeah.
Flicka.
Or they were just breeds, like, you try to collect all the breeds.
Appaloosa.
Yes.
Palomino.
Yes.
Pinto.
I had a whole bookshelf with, I loved them.
Now they have wheels or...
No, they're
so you could drive them around? Well, yeah, but you want to be able to...
No, you do, like...
Pretend that they're galloping?
Yeah.
Were they on little stands, like rearing up in the air?
Sometimes. Those were special ones. But they were easier to play with if they weren't on the stands.
Now, because people have asked me, not just you guys, but have asked me before about this Toy Hall of Fame thing. And as I recall, I'm not for sure, but as I recall, it's only been together about just a few years that they've done the Toy Hall of Fame. And that's why some of these... the ones that you would think should be in there should be in there. And they, for some reason, only induct 3 a year in, which, that seems kind of an arbitrary.
Yeah, I don't know why are these... Let's see, here's the Toy Hall of Fame home. Here are toys inducted by year.
Ball and a Cup? Is Ball and a Cup in there?
Let me see. Well, the first year that they did this is...
Stick and a hoop? What about the hoop and the stick?
1998. So it's been around for a while.
Yeah, but they only induct like 3 a year in.
Well, that first year they did like 10. I don't know why. Then the number goes down. In 2001, there were only 2 things inducted: Silly Putty and Tonka trucks. Let's see, what was last year? Last year was coloring books.
Okay.
Magic the Gathering. and Matchbox
Wait a minute.
cars.
You have Magic the Gathering before you have bingo?
That's, what,
That's number one.
yeah, that's number one.
That should be.
Yeah.
Makes sense. You save Magic the Gathering for several years down the road.
Magic the Gathering is similar to playing soccer with the skulls of your enemies, but not exactly the same.
Okay, 9:21 right now. We do have a boner fight coming up, probably about 7 minutes from now.
Okay.
So before that, a reasonable amount of news brought to you by...
Brought to you by Young Power Sports in Centerville, Utah's newest power sports dealer. Tri-City Performance is now Young Power Sports in Centerville, your Polaris and Victory motorcycle dealer. See inventory online at youngpowersports.com.
It'd be a good gift for Father's Day.
Yeah.
Young Power Sports.
You know, I was looking for Father's Day to see when exactly it was. I was looking, well, and I wasn't quite sure, so I was looking for it, and then I saw it. I went, oh my gosh, it's right around the corner.
It's like right around the corner. You're a father. What do you want for Father's Day, Bill?
Say it.
Nothing,
be honest.
really.
To be left alone.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Nothing. I don't need anything. I'm fine. That's hard. That's hard to give gifts when, you know, if I need something, I can mostly just go out and get it.
Well, it's not about a thing. What do you want? You want to be alone?
Love and
You wanna
respect.
I
want love and respect. That's not. I'm not going to get that. They love me, but I mean the respect part of it's pretty out of the question, I think. Anyway, the news. Here's what I want to do. I want to go see Judas Priest.
Yes.
On their rescheduled 50th anniversary tour. They've rescheduled, and boy.
Are they coming here?
I thought you wanted to see that all-female tribute band, Judith's Priest. That's what you were saying.
I don't know, that because opening for Judas Priest is Sabaton, so it's that's a night.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're coming here or not. Let me see. Oh, here is a list of all the places that they're. I don't know. I think they maybe are not welcome here.
Not welcome? Why would they not be welcome here?
Oh, well, yeah.
You got another thing coming.
They know why. I don't.
Yes,
they
Bill
were supposed.
Yes, Tommy. Bill is hell-bent for leather. Yes, he is.
They were supposed to. That was one of the concerts that had to be canceled for COVID. So I bet they are coming.
I think they're coming back.
I don't see it on this list. Oh wait, there it is. West Valley City.
Yeah,
the Maverick
Center.
So does Rod still ride his motorcycle out onto the stage?
He has a couple of girls push it out onto the stage while he's on it. He can't. It's too heavy.
He's fine.
He's fine.
Shailene Woodley said she and Aaron Rodgers are meant to be together.
Oh, I love these stories.
And she just dived right into it.
Of course she should.
She didn't think about it for a moment.
Well, you should think about it.
I have a perspective that I would have met Aaron in any context, any space in time, because I feel we were meant to be together. So if we had been amoebas, or if we'd been aliens on another planet, or things like that,
we still would have found our way.
They're the.
Well,
I
that's
guess
sweet.
they're the same age. Let's see.
No,
Oh,
he's older than
she's,
her.
She's 29. He's 37.
Yeah.
They began dating last summer, and got engorged in February. Oh, excuse me, engaged.
Well, you know.
I misread that. I'm tired. Listen,
you okay?
I all night I was looking for my
All
car.
night.
All night.
Bill had a bad dream
Oh,
last
God, it was awful. That really was awful. It was just like, my car is not there. Speaking of cars, dangerous amounts of road debris, or debris, if you prefer, is showing up on Utah roadways.
What from?
Road debris is up nearly from everything, up nearly 20% since 2018.
Are you not
according
securing your loads? Is that the problem?
Well, Jan Kristowiak, the wife of former Utah Utes head basketball coach Larry Kristowiak, had a close call with some road debris a few months ago. It shot out like a bullet and hit the side of the car, she said. As she drove her daughters to volleyball practice, she said a vehicle ahead of her kicked up a piece of metal road debris on I-215. I think the only thing that saved me from getting hit right between the eyes was the new rear view mirror, was the rear view mirror. It hit that first and broke through when it broke through the window. Troopers have responded to more than 30. I wish I knew exactly why. It's a growing problem from year to year, said UHP Lieutenant Nick Street. On average, troopers respond to 76 road debris calls per day, and I think that means the road debris has caused significant damage to a vehicle, or it's caused an accident.
Yeah, somebody texted into us not that long ago, said it looks like a whole bunch of nails for a nail gun have been dumped on the side of the
I
road,
saw
9th
that.
West on road debris.
A guy who was he was diving, doing some diving in the river there in California. Which one is it? It'll turn up here. Anyway, he's diving, and he found a prosthetic leg in the river, and he was able to return it to its owner. The American River. Lost and found divers, typically they find cell phones, watches, sunglasses underneath the water. They do this as kind of a hobby. The
There's treasure in there.
Lost and found divers. Carl Bly and Matt Sprutenberg found John Hovis's leg, which he lost while rafting on the Memorial Day weekend.
Is there a tag on it?
Found, please return.
Yeah, no, I think that's exactly what it is. And he was happy because then those things don't come cheap.
No.
And when you're rafting down the American River and your leg comes off, it's not like you can turn around and go get it, you know.
Well, you should tie something floaty to it
next time he will.
Like you can get those things for your sunglasses that if they fall in the water, they'll
some
float.
croquis for your prosthetic leg. Yeah. Here's a good murder story for you.
Gina.
For more than 20 years, at least 100 of the country's most vicious serial and celebrity murderers, including John Wayne Gacy, Jeffrey Dahmer, Richard Ramirez, son of Sam David Berkowitz, Charles Manson, Arthur Shawcross, Edmund Kemper, Carla Faye Tucker, all of them eagerly corresponded with Barbara and Richie Dickstein. To hook the criminals.
This story. Who's this?
To hook the criminals, the Dicksteins would write letters pretending to be whatever turned on the killers.
Really?
So it's like catfishing them?
She sent photos she sent photos of a local stripper and pretended it was her to tantalize Richard Ramirez. The Dicksteins first wrote to Son of Sam around 1992. It was Barbara's idea, she said, because she knew someone who had narrowly missed being a Berkowitz victim. So they did. What a weird thing.
Is this going to be a book or something?
It's got to be. Or a
the
movie.
Dicksteins trove of more than 30,000 letters Many reference killers chopping up their victims, raping, torturing, delighting in their pain, are too graphic to publish. The collection, which includes audio tapes of phone calls with the prisoners and their artwork, form the basis of a new crime podcast.
Oh, there you go.
But it's probably pretty interesting. Killer's Vault, it's called. It will launch on June 28th. Hosted by Law and Order actress Elizabeth Rome, and Eric Roberts actor Eric Roberts will voice the murderers as he reads from the letters.
Of course he will.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. I'll listen to that.
Sure, why not?
It's Boner Fight with Radio from Hell on X96.
Man. All right, here we go. The winner from round 1 going up against number 2. I don't know how you'll... These are both local. In St. George, there was a car crash. Turns out the car was involved in an accident because the woman driving, who was possibly pregnant, had in her lap a baby, like an infant, 2 months old or something like that. And the baby was unrestrained. Now, fortunately, the airbag didn't go off. It would have killed the baby. The baby had a minor injury, and the young woman, 18 years old, possibly pregnant. She said she might be pregnant. She was experiencing abdominal pain, so they rushed her to the hospital. Everybody's okay physically, but they don't let that woman have another baby.
No.
And then that's going up against number 2. Leave the world-famous Yum Yum food truck alone. Filipino and Asian fusion food, mostly in the Layton areas where they operated. But people love their food, but somebody just defaced their truck with all kinds of racist garbage. That's number 2.
Okay, time for you to decide. Of these 2 candidates, which one is the worst? Which one should be Boner of the Day for today? 1 or 2. Remember your candidate number, the one that you think should win. Put that single digit in the message of a text, and then text that to 33986. Or you can call the producer's booth at 877-602-9696. Use your voice to vote. Or go online, look for the box at x96.com, the box that says Boner Fight 6/8/2021, and vote there. You probably won't see that box right away because we just put the box up there. So refresh your browser, your internet browser, and it should appear. All right? Have until the end of these messages. Let's go. It's Boner of the Day.
I have a list.
A list?
A list.
Do people
I don't know
like
if you guys
lists?
Are you up for a list?
I don't know.
You know, people tend
do they
to,
like
from
them?
what I can tell, people tend to like lists.
Oh, they do? Okay, well, let's see if the people like this one.
All right, here we go. Let's go.
It's Radio from Hell with another list, because people love a good list. X96.
That's right, I forgot. We have a recording that says they like that.
Now, I have a problem with this list.
So is it not a good list then? Because people
Well-
like a good list.
Yeah, it's a list you don't like.
Seeing a shirtless actor in Hollywood isn't all that uncommon. There are some actors who go shirtless way more than others, and a recent study was undertaken to see which stars go shirtless most often in movies.
Okay.
This group found
Was there government funding for this study? Is that
there should be. Now they timed it. The
Okay.
most actual time these actors are shirtless.
Shirtless time, okay.
So number 10 on the list, Zac Efron, with 694 seconds.
Okay.
Number 9, Leonardo DiCaprio,
Okay.
724 seconds. Number 8, Colin Farrell. Colin Farrell?
Oh, yeah.
You think of him being shirtless a lot?
I, as a matter of fact, every morning when I wake up.
730 seconds.
Yeah.
Number 8, Charlie Hunnam.
The Sons of
Was
Anarchy
he
guy.
shirtless a lot in Sons of Anarchy?
A little. It didn't seem like a lot, but.
Number 6, Christian Bale.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Number 5, Michael Fassbender.
Yeah.
I can't even picture Michael Fassbender's face, let alone his shirtless body.
Number 4, Jake Gyllenhaal.
Okay.
913. You don't think of him being shirtless a lot.
913 seconds?
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 3, Matthew McConaughey. That one makes
Sure.
sense to me.
Well, yeah. He almost always, he has like a shirt hanging off of his finger that he carries over his shoulder. You know what I mean?
I didn't think he owned any shirts, but
Number 2, Sylvester Stallone. I mean,
What?
you count over his career, yeah.
I guess.
all your Rambo movies, all your.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He was a boxer. He never had a shirt on. And number 1, Daniel Craig.
Well, that movie he made about, helping the Jews escape the Nazis, wasn't he shirtless throughout that?
Huh?
I forget the name of the movie, but
I don't know what movie that.
it
But-
would have been funnier if I could have named the movie.
Oh. But nowhere on this list
Mhm.
is the person that should be at least on the list, if not number 1 on the list.
Who?
Can you think of a movie where Jason Momoa actually wears a shirt ever?
Ah, that's a
Yeah,
point.
but we're talking about actors here.
Ever? I can't picture Jason Momoa with a shirt on because I've never seen him with the shirt on. He is always shirtless. I take issue with. I think this study is flawed and needs to be re-examined.
Well, who do you complain to? That's your next step. You've got to find out who to write a
Hollywood.
You've got to figure out who to write a strongly worded letter to.
Miss Brandt, get me Hollywood on the phone.
Dear
I'm not
Hollywood,
wrong, though.
I am not a crackpot.
Can you picture Jason Momoa with the shirt on? I bet you can't.
I'm not trying.
Yes.
I'm really.
You can?
When he's wearing his full uniform as Aquaman at the end.
Oh.
It,
But other than that,
that's I can't think of a shirt that he owns. No.
no shirt. He's a shirtless actor.
Oh,
He's
now there's-
Hollywood's number 1 shirtless actor.
Now is Liam, or I mean Daniel Craig? Is he shirtless in the Bond movies? I don't
Yeah,
watch
like
the Bond movies.
on the beach.
Looking at shirtless, comfortably behind the Bond. No.
What?
Well, I know
the case?
some of those numbers are padded, though, especially Leonardo DiCaprio's. It's padded because he just narrated a documentary about voting,
Yeah.
and the entire time he was in the recording booth, he was shirtless, apparently.
Shirtless?
So
Oh.
it didn't count. You never saw him, but he was. So he's
Well, you
padding
don't-
those numbers.
You don't think of Leonardo DiCaprio as having,
No.
about being shirtless
Oh,
very
and
much.
the texter says, "What about The Rock, Dwayne
Yeah,
Johnson?
The
He's
Rock.
shirtless all the time." Oh yeah, that's right. Casino Royale features him being tortured while nude, and it's quite a long scene. So that's
Daniel
probably
Craig.
probably that.
So this is a flawed list. I'm sorry I have brought you a flawed list.
Yeah, and again, what about Schwarzenegger in the 2 Conan movies? Conan doesn't wear a shirt. You
Ever.
know?
Yeah. No, I don't know. I think they overlooked a lot of things here. I think they
Yeah.
just went to the movies they wanted to see. That's all.
Yeah.
You see the shirtless men you want to see. That's what we get from this.
Okay. Well, it is a flawed list, but okay.
We hope you'd enjoyed another list with Radio from Hell on X96.
All right. Time to award Boner of the Day.
And it's brought to you by ribs and some brisket and some creamed corn.
Yeah, ribs and brisket. That sounds like a 2-meat plate there,
That's
Bill.
what that
You
was.
got yourself a 2-meat plate.
I got the 2-meat plate.
And that's it.
Okay.
That's it?
So we had boner candidate number 1. Please don't let this woman have another baby. She's driving around with one baby in her lap, and that caused a car crash. Fortunately, no one's severely injured in that. Going up against number 2, just leave the Yum Yum food truck alone. The world famous, it was called the world famous Yum Yum food truck. They serve Filipino and Asian fusion food, well known in the Layton area in particular. And somebody just defaced it, vandalized it with all kinds of racist garbage. And the winner was boner candidate number 2. Leave the world famous Yum Yum food truck alone.
So, I know this is futile, but I would like to talk to the people that did that to
No,
the
you
Yum
wouldn't.
Yum truck.
You would not.
And
You
I would
not.
say...
You would not want to be in the same room with
What?
them.
No. What are you trying to accomplish?
If they were behind, chicken wire or something, maybe you would want to
What?
talk to them.
So your thought is, I hate Asian people.
There's
so
no
I'm
thought.
But no, I would
There's
I
no
would want
thought
to
there.
try to get to the bottom
know.
of it.
I don't
what
know.
what
I don't know.
compelled you?
I
What
don't-
were you hoping would happen?
We just
What-
thought it would be funny.
What did they do to you that
Nothing.
made
Nothing.
Why would you?
Well, they're just
I honestly
look
don't
at them.
understand.
Look at them. Just look at them.
What did they do?
And that
to
crap
you?
they call
What-
food. You know.
You don't have to buy it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
They just
truly
did it for
baffled.
fun.
I mean,
They don't.
I know
there's-
this is a simplistic thing to say. Racism baffles me, but
Mm-hmm.
like I would like to try to ask questions to get to the bottom of, and the baseline of why you do these things and say these things is
most
what?
of them they don't know. They're done. Now, intelligent racists, those are the people who really bother me. People who did this are not intelligent racists.
Because
they were just
those-
vandals.
Those are people like you were saying earlier that are like genuinely worried that the
Yeah.
white race is dying out or whatever.
And
but
all I
even
have-
to that, I would say is.
Have you been to
so?
Sandy? Have you been to Sandy? Have you been to
It's pretty
Orem?
strong out there.
Okay,
a lot of
the
white folks.
The white race is dying out. We're all going to be this. So, again, even if I get to that, I'm like, and
Oh,
Why-
and you,
why
so
is
you
that
don't
a
care
terrible-
about
No.
you don't care about the
Why-
future for your children.
why do you care?
You don't care about
Why?
the future for your children.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be walking around with nothing but a bunch of brown people. Okay.
So,
Yeah, so
I'm still not there. I still don't get why.
And that's just where we'll have to agree to disagree because you don't understand how awful that would be.
would it be awful?
No, it wouldn't.
It would be pretty awful to have to be around them because they have really. They're just not.
I don't understand.
Some of them people eat dogs.
No.
That's the kind of people you're dealing with.
Okay, well then don't buy it. Again, we're back to that. I don't understand.
How does it affect you? What is it that impinges on your life so much that you feel like your only recourse is to grab a can of paint and spray it on it? I don't get it.
I would mostly bet that this was sort of like
kids,
little juvenile jerks who thought it would be funny. And that's kind of bad. That's bad racism as well. But
because it's getting passed on from your parents to your kids.
But they don't have an answer to your question, is what I'm saying. They do not have an answer.
Yeah, but
because they thought it would be funny.
But why is
I
that
thought it would be funny. I thought it would just leave me alone. Okay.
Is that funny if somebody does that to you?
Do that to me,
your
I'll kill you.
business?
I'd kill you if you
so
did
it's
that to
funny
me.
one way, but not the other way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a bigger question for a morning show to answer, frankly. Because even just, tossing, saying, it's just dumb people. No. It's not. There's so much more going on here than it's just dumb people. And if you just dismiss it as it's just dumb people, then it makes it kind of okay in a way.
No, I don't dismiss it at all. I just don't think you get an answer out of them because they don't have one.
That's why I would like to talk to them, because I would like to maybe sort of get them to the point where they might go, yeah, you're right. I don't know why I do that. I haven't thought about it that way. That I don't know why,
I mean, I honestly, I think this was about scaring people away from the white neighborhood.
I don't know.
That's what I see it as,
Because what happens if somebody that's not white lives in... Tell me the bad thing that happens.
Exactly.
There's no bad thing that
There's
happens.
no bad thing. But they think that there's a bad thing because they've been told it's a bad thing. And you know what? Because they probably don't know any Asian people.
Is there a good answer to those questions, Gina?
No, that's what I'm saying.
No, there
I wonder
isn't.
if somebody asks the questions, though, if when asked the question, they can't come up with an answer, if that might make them go, yeah, I don't know why I do that. Maybe, maybe I'll question. I don't. It's too much to hope that would.
Well, anymore, they're being told that it's okay to say, yes, I'm racist. Or, yes, I don't like Asian people.
Well, I'm proud to be an American. Let me put it that way.
You see, that's what they interpret it as,
Maybe you're not proud of your race.
What is an American? What is an American?
White people, for one thing.
They've been taught that. They have been taught that, and they're just echoing it.
It was white people who came here and said, we're going to be a white Christian nation, okay?
I'm saddened and disappointed.
Yep. All right.
I'm resigned.
Don't be. No, that's what Carrie's saying.
Yeah.
Don't be resigned.
If
that's
we,
not
if we just
helpful.
dismiss it as dumb people, then that's kind of, just saying, well, what can you do?
Well, what can you do?
Don't be resigned. Don't
we can
do that.
start by prosecuting them. And then asking them these questions.
Yes.
Genuinely.
Help
and when
me
they don't have an
understand.
answer, maybe a fourth of them might go, hey, you're right. But
I don't know.
How about shock therapy? Let's try that.
Okay.
Well, if you'd like to. It was your idea, not mine.
Bill brought it up.
All right.
Bill said shock therapy. It wasn't us.
We'll get to that after 9:47. Back after these, X96.
Greetings, children. This is your old friend, the Gravedigger. Today I have a frightening little yarn that has all the ingredients needed to make you shudder. Sex, violence, lawyers, and 3 exploding human heads. This tale is called There She Blows, and we'll take you now to the law offices of Parker, Jameson, and Osborne, attorneys at law.
Mr. Parker?
Mr. Osborne.
Parker, your file is undone.
Oh, I was Extra's secretary.
But Mr. Parker, that is so wrong. You're a married man.
I'm aware of that, Osborne, and I don't care. As a matter of fact, I'm going back in for seconds.
Parker, your head is getting bigger. Oh, my God. Look at all the blood.
What's all the racket in here?
Parker's head just exploded.
Good Lord, what a mess. Hey, what's Parker is itching and
that's the boss. He's been working overtime to make the board of directors look better in court. I believe he just finished it. Jameson, what are you doing?
erasing Parker.
Exploded too. I'd better call for help. But first, I'm going to go through their wallets and steal all the money. They're not going to need it, and no one will ever know.
Those 3 really know how to get ahead, eh? Their law firm tried to expand too rapidly and suddenly went bust. Well, in case you hadn't figured out the moral of the story,
if you're a lawyer and you do something bad, your head will explode. This is the old gravedigger inviting you to join me next time when our story will be called Chop Chop, Who's There? On Tales from the Grave.
Okay, 9:54.
Boy, I'm just so sleepy. It's that terrible, it really was a dream, but you know, where it's that half waking sort of thing. And I was looking for my car at a car lot, and just on and on and on. But
Did
then
you
I
ever
finally
find your
fell
car?
asleep for about. No, never found it. And I was trying to remember. I was going to. I needed to get it quick because I was going to go to a movie and see a movie, and I was trying to remember what the movie was, but I don't remember. And I never did find it.
I couldn't go to sleep last night because I had an Ozzy Osbourne earworm.
Really? Which one?
It's not one you know. It's
It's a
Zombie
deep cut.
Stomp. It's a deep
Zombie
cut.
Stomp.
Yeah. He says, hey, hey, do the zombie stomp like 100 times. And that was my earworm last night. I couldn't sleep. Because it's one of those songs that you can't get to the end of it. It just sort of, like, it's easy to end earworms that end cold. Because you have to think of it in your head, like, and bam, and you're like, okay, that song's over. But when it just sort of fades in and out, there's no stopping point.
So at least it was art keeping you awake.
Yeah.
Art.
Mm-hmm. It's a good song. It's a long song. It takes forever to get to the...
I was going to say, we're 3 minutes in now.
Yeah.
Do I need to go further?
This was my earworm.
Earworm forever now.
There it is.
I need to go back.
Yeah, just a little bit. Here it is, right here. This part. That just over and over again.
That's it. Now, see, I think that might put me to sleep.
Ozzy got a new puppy. Did you see that?
No, I didn't. I'm not
You
a
don't
member
follow
of the
him
fan.
on Twitter?
I'm not a member of the fan club. No.
You gotta follow Ozzy on Twitter.
But I don't care.
Named him Jack. It's easy to remember the name.
He's posted a picture of his new puppy.
Well, it's not. What is the name of the puppy?
It's Rocky.
Rocky.
Oh, that's original.
And the picture.
I pretended I'm Bullwinkle.
The picture looks like he just sat up in bed for a minute. And then he laid back down.
All right, let's do the promo and get out of here.
Oh.
What?
I haven't even looked for it.
It's right there.
Because usually Katie says, "Did you all get the promo?"
Yeah, and then you get irritated that she
Yeah.
asks, so
Okay,
she
there we
stopped
go.
asking.
Hey, I've got it here, okay?
It's just the beginning of the week, so join us for all to come on Wednesday's Radio from Hell show on X96.
Oh, yes, we know. There's always something that must go from your life, right? So send your must-goes to radiofromhell@x96.com, and we might help at 6:45 with Things That Must Go.
Then at 7:45, Dr. Cobble joins us to rescue you from your crazy uncle on Facebook and truthfully answer your COVID and vaccine questions.
So make sure you have your questions ready when you call in for Dr. Cobble's help.
And, of course, there will be more on Wednesday's Radio from Hell show on X96. Dog. New dog.
I like that your Aussie can just be not even any words. Just
Well, he doesn't speak words.
Not much.
Again, I'd watch the Osbournes and go, "This is the Prince of Darkness."
Yes, I'm really scared.
He's cleaning up poop, dog poop on his floors. That's the Prince of Darkness. He's gonna
very scary.
Take us all to oblivion. All right. Fine job, Katie. Thank you. Live long and prosper, bitches.
Don't you know who I am?
Bonnie Tyler is no Kim Carnes.
Corey is next.